Sorry, I was talking with no mic. So here is part two of day one. Now, as I said before, I never found part one. So what we're going to do is we're starting off and you're going to see body cam and the officer is on the stand and they're playing the body cam. Just to give you a little background of where we're starting. I mean, it just starts right in the middle of just whatever here. So let's see what we got.
Want to fill it out now? If you want to work on it, you can. If you want to wait, it's up to you. He's working on one now. But if you want to give it back to me later, it's up to you. What are you doing, man? If you want to give you a few minutes, I'll come back in and check on you.
Officer.
What are you doing? You playing hide and seek?
So just if he hits me again after that, so if I just have to
Pull out your phone if you guys start arguing. Record it. Call us.
Let me show you. Let me show you our playroom.
We can't stop either one of you. Well, you said one of them is a stepchild.
not
Hey, can you look at our playroom?
Yeah, I'll come check it out. But that's without a protection order.
You can physically take them.
You both have rights, unless a court says otherwise, and then unless it's like a child born out of wedlock. Uh-oh.
Okay.
What do you want me to do, big guy?
Look at this playroom.
Okay.
Look at this.
Oh, I see.
It's a back window.
Oh, I was jumping. It's a big playroom, huh? Do you guys like it in here? I was jumping.
Can you put on a show?
No, I can't put on a show. That's up to your mommy and daddy. Oh. What are you doing? You're getting the little one roused up. Let me give you a few minutes. I'll come back and check on you, Miss Bree. Yeah,
It's a fire truck.
I got it.
Why do you got a badge?
Because that's what I got. Here, hang out in here, big guy.
No, but come with me.
No, you can't come with me. No.
Yes.
No. You gotta hang out.
Can I see your car?
Come on. Stay inside, big guy. See, now you got your sister want to come out. I'll show it to you before we leave. Let's see what your mama wants.
Can I show you're missing in Patty's room?
Man, you're trying to show me everything. I said they're trying to show me everything.
You have to let me know where she's taking my kids if she's leaving?
That's between you guys. We're not getting in the middle of it. Not unless the kids are born out of wedlock or there's a court order.
Yeah, finish the mom's are.
JP, you coming in?
All right, don't grab too much.
I know
I don't want you to cheer or anything.
You got.
Set my alarm off on my radio.
No. We don't touch that. No, that one either.
What's that one for?
It's just if somebody wants to be rambunctious.
That you see, that you're like, what kind of shows it YouTube people that's around? What does it do?
It's kind of like shock therapy.
Yeah, there's not a wedlock, probably.
Why is your car not beeping?
It doesn't have a beeper on it. It's just a lock and unlock.
What is it locking?
I hope so.
Man, can you stay with me?
Oh.
104.
104.
You already got a report?
Can you sign me a case number?
I can take it. You already got a paper?
Nah, I got it.
4. It's 8028 8028.
10-4, thank you. What are you doing, bonehead? was a wild child.
All go, no go.
Wonderful. Do you have a party's 14? Temple.
Now, I want y'all to pay attention to what's going on right now. It may not seem like very much, but you've got the little boy and the little girl out there just playing all inside that red truck. And then you're going to see them playing in the white truck. And you're going to notice that the police officer's paying attention to them, but mom's all she's worried about is getting the stuff out of the red truck and putting it in her truck. So just kind of remember how much concern she has at the moment. I know it seems simple and like, duh, Nana, no big deal. But just, when you're watching a movie and you kind of stick one of them things in the back of your mind, go ahead and stick that one back there.
Channel 185. Signal 0 1034, 1029.
Yeah.
That little boy, he's having fun. Mm, I can't remember. Yeah, I can't remember. He may be in the white one now. Maybe not. Yeah,
What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing?
giggle box.
Is it? How old? Play
Nice
what?
police officer.
Your hair comes on my shirt.
Channel 159.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
How old are you guys? 4?
55 for signal 26.
Don't you fall out of there now.
In the area of Bergren,
Oh, stay up here.
Police Parkway, Bergren Road, Oak Police Parkway, a reference to two subjects, white male, white female, or possibly using
Little babysitter.
traffic, white male last seen wearing black shorts, white female last seen wearing black jeans.
Hey.
Hey, Dad, can you touch me? Can you touch me in the car?
Can I what?
Touch me in the car.
Catch me in the
And
car.
then I say so
You want to sit down in the car?
here.
I thought she said, catch me in the car.
4-year-old. You're not old enough to drive yet, buddy.
Hi,
Hey.
my brother's on this many.
How old are you?
I'm this many.
3?
I'm gonna have another birthday in a minute.
In a minute.
I don't think I've ever heard that. Excuse me. I'm going to have another birthday in a minute. That's adorable.
When's your
I'm gonna
birthday?
have another birthday.
When's your birthday?
It's my birthday. Something else our birthday.
Uh-oh. What are you touching up there? I hear something dinging.
Look at me. I'm a big one.
86 District 1. I'll be in zone 1 with safety.
All right, guys, come on out.
I won't baby ever again.
Ever again in your whole life. What if you get into a car accident?
Hi
Yeah,
again.
185.
Yeah?
185. Show me out of West.
You opening the garage door? What are you doing?
All right, come on. Out. JP, get out now.
You causing all kind of ruckus.
Out. Come on. Lady, out.
That was funny.
Golly.
You want to go grab some grass or no?
Better watch the skateboard.
Hey, you're not supposed to be on that skateboard, buddy.
I jumped over it.
All right, you want to read this and make sure you got everything in there?
He's driving your car now.
Good luck.
Yeah, he's
Are you looking for cars?
Those things won't go unless they got our fingers under the door to trigger them and got
Yeah,
biosensors, and
Let's keep trying to see some boundaries.
then you can't put in drive.
Nice.
Nothing's going on lock.
Nice.
Can't get to the computer. So it's not like back in the day when you just have the window down, open the door, and get out. When things are locked up like Fort Knox.
You raise your right hand for me, Mr. Collin. You swear in the firm everything you told me is true for the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
You just sign it on both sides at the bottom where it says affiant or affiant. I'm not sure how you say that. And then we'll get out of y'all's hair in just a minute. You guys gonna be okay? You think after we leave?
Yeah.
Um,
You call for command. See if they can help me.
we can't dictate who takes the kids or where they go. Just you guys try to be civil about it, man. How long have you guys been married?
5 years, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, I don't have to
Both
tell
really
you
bad
that.
at knowing our.
Man.
Oh, man, I must have left my truck unlocked. What's wrong, buddy?
Uh-oh.
You okay?
He just hit his head on his gun.
You gotta look where you're going, buddy.
Uh-oh. Well, Miss Bree,
Yes.
I'm gonna give you both a business card. There's one for you, Colin.
Appreciate it.
If you guys need anything, call us, okay?
I'm not sure what it was she said right there.
All right, you want to read this and make sure you got everything in there?
He's driving your car now.
Good luck.
Yeah, he's
Are you looking for cars?
Those things won't go unless they got our fingers under the door to trigger them and got
Yeah,
biosensors, and
Let's keep trying to see some boundaries.
then you can't put in drive.
Nice.
Nothing's going on lock.
Nice.
Can't get to the computer. So it's not like back in the day when you just have the window down, open the door, and get out. When things are locked up like Fort Knox.
You raise your right hand for me, Mr. Collin. You swear in the firm everything you told me is true for the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
You just sign it on both sides at the bottom where it says affiant or affiant. I'm not sure how you say that. And then we'll get out of y'all's hair in just a minute. You guys gonna be okay? You think after we leave?
Yeah.
Um,
You call for command. See if they can help me.
we can't dictate who takes the kids or where they go. Just you guys try to be civil about it, man. How long have you guys been married?
5 years, 6, 7 years.
Yeah, I don't have to
Both
tell
really
you
bad
that.
at knowing our.
Man.
Oh, man, I must have left my truck unlocked. What's wrong, buddy?
Uh-oh.
You okay?
He just hit his head on his gun.
You gotta look where you're going, buddy.
Okay, I'm not real sure, but did she say he just hit his head on a gun or on your gun? Is that what she said? Because if that's what she said, that makes absolutely zero, zero sense. She was in the red truck. She unloaded the red truck. The little boy had been in the red truck, but he was in the white truck playing, honking a horn, having a good old time. She shut the red truck. They were coming from the white truck. So she better not have said that he hit his head on a gun because uh, that would just be like the setup is being built about her trying to say how afraid she was for the children. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't paying no attention. But there's no way that he would have hit his head at that time on a gun in Colin's truck. So that's not what happened to the child.
Uh-oh. Well, Miss Bree, I'm gonna give you both a business card. Here's one for you, Colin. If you guys need anything, call us, okay? It's all part of the report. You'd have to get it from records with the sheriff's office, okay? All right.
185.
He wants in the car. He's been asking me since. No, you can't drive my car. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Can't go in there, but just looking. No, looking.
He'd be jamming.
Police have to be very serious with their cars. You can't speak those on the man. Whoa, look at those seats.
Can I go in there?
I don't know if you want to get in the back seat.
That's yucky.
I wipe it down, but it may be a little nasty.
Well, why is it nasty in there?
Yeah. And sometimes they're dirty.
Police are catching them.
Can I go in there with the door open?
No,
Why?
That's yucky for you.
it just not.
Somebody
Not
threw up
good.
in there. There's poop in there.
Why?
It happens.
They let a cat in there and the cat pooped in there. Sometimes bad guys want to be mean and throw up in the car, so the police officers have to clean it up. Isn't that yucky?
Can turn the lights on for you.
Stand with me on 104. Go get the 6
Nobody in the house wants to hear a loud siren noise. They would be scared. Somebody was going to get hurt.
You good, big man? Or you want to drive it? I can't let you drive it. Maybe one day. I heard how you was beeping that horn.
I don't need the door.
Have a nice day, baby.
Keep your horn.
Thank you, Judge. Detective Harbarger, in watching that early on in that recording, when when Ms. Kuhn is relaying to you what has happened, she made the statement of he put his hands on me, he raped me over the weekend. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Do you remember her making that statement at the time?
I completely missed the first one. Because I believe after reviewing the body camera, she said it twice.
And it seemed like you did not respond at that time. Is that correct?
Correct.
Is that something that you did not catch or realize that she said at that point?
With all the distractions, yeah, I didn't catch that.
Okay.
It's my fault.
And you were there because of what she had relayed on 911 about him pushing her in the bathroom. Is that correct?
About the battery.
Okay. Now in the video there, we see the two vehicles in the driveway, correct?
Yes.
And it looks like on the video, she is unloading items from Colin's vehicle into her
Section
vehicle.
leading, Your Honor.
Sustained as phrased.
What do we watch her doing with the two vehicles on that video?
She's moving stuff from Colin's vehicle into her vehicle.
Okay, including a child seat.
Yes.
And Detective Harbarger, that was your only interaction with the two of them and your only involvement in this case. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Those are my questions.
All right, Mr. Etheridge.
Good afternoon. You're an investigator now, detective now with major crimes, right?
Right.
Congratulations. We've had the opportunity to review the video, so I won't go into huge details on this, detective, but Mr. Turner told you that his pistol was in the truck, didn't he?
I don't recall if he said that or not.
Okay. So if the video revealed that, would you defer to the video?
Say it again.
Your body camera said, if he said that during you taping him on the body camera, it'd be on there, wouldn't it?
Unless
Telling you had a pistol on gun in the truck.
that initial few seconds where the audio's catching up,
Okay. And Bree told you she didn't want him in the house, didn't she?
She said she wanted to leave.
But she also told you she didn't want him in the house, didn't she?
I don't recall.
Can we defer to the video again? That's the best evidence. Don't you agree? What was taped on your body cam?
Correct.
Okay. And she told you not once, but it sounds like she told you several times that he raped me, didn't she?
She did make that statement twice.
And you didn't do any follow-up on the rape allegation at all?
She wanted to leave. I offered her to fill out a witness statement. She said she would fill it out at a later time.
You didn't offer to give her a rape assault kit done at the hospital, did you?
No, sir.
Okay. And part of her other allegations was that he threw her down on the bathroom floor, right?
Correct.
And when asked about the marks, she told you he does it where it doesn't show. That's what she said in the video, didn't she?
She said she didn't have any marks, bruises, or scratches.
And when you responded something to the fact, well, that would be helpful to have marks, what have you, she said, next time, I should just let him punch me in the face. That's what you said to you, right?
That's correct.
And Mr. Turner, when you went outside to him, he said, that kind of allegation is the last thing I need, right?
Right.
Were you aware that a law enforcement had been called out there several times before that particular day you went out there, Mr. Hartberger?
No, sir.
Okay. And another thing that Mr. Turner told you is that I'm going to call the command, right?
He did say that.
Did you understand what that meant, what he was talking about?
I just assumed he was going to maybe try and get help from his first shirt or
He was going to call her command.
No.
Is that what you got out of it?
no.
You thought he was going to call his command?
That's what I took it as, yes.
Did you know he was no longer in the military?
I wasn't
at
aware.
the time?
No, sir.
And the child, the little wild child, as you referred to him as, he started crying because he hit his head on a gun and Mr. Turner's truck hit him.
I don't know what he hit his head on.
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Whoa. I don't know why this has to be so difficult.
Started crying because he hit his head on a gun and Mr. Turner's truck hit him.
I don't know what.
He did. He did say he was crying because he hit his head on a gun. That is absolutely incorrect, sir. Incorrect. They had already been in the red truck and out of the red truck. He was playing in the white truck. Dude. What a lie. Why did she set that up? How far ahead was she thinking? That was an outright lie.
He hit his head on.
May I have a moment, Your Honor? Thank you, Mr. Hartberger.
Any redirect?
Deputy Hartberger, you had a good deal of interaction with all parties as we saw in the video. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you have any concern of in observing Colleen's interaction with his children?
No.
Thanks, sir.
All right. Can this witness be excused or does he need to remain? Or it's just subject to recall?
I think at this point he can be excused. My initial plan was to recall him, but at this point I think he can be excused.
I have no objection to him leaving whenever the prosecutor's done with him, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, sir. You may step down. You're now excused. Mr. Alderman, call your next witness.
Your Honor, my next witness, if Spence and I may approach.
Sure.
Wow. Just wow, y'all. I'm like, no way. She just kicked back and comfy. Whoops.
Thanks, sir. Sir,
There we go. Come on down, son. Come on down.
Yes, sir. Raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Sit
Woo!
in the chair. Put the chair as close to the microphone as you can. Speak into the microphone loud enough so that everybody can hear you.
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Alderman.
thanks, sir. Sir, please state your name for the record.
Oh,
Deputy
that's
Jameson Lynn,
hold on,
And where are you
hold on.
employed, sir?
Central County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been there?
Been there just a little over 5.5 years, I believe.
And what are your duties with the sheriff's office?
I'm a patrol deputy.
Now, I want to direct your attention to September 8th of 2021. Were you on duty that day?
Yes, sir, I was.
Okay. And did you respond to a call in Jenks Drive?
Yes, sir, I did.
What kind of call was it? Do you remember?
I believe it came out as a police assist. Ultimately turned into a disturbance, I believe.
Okay. And what is a police assist?
A police assist is kind of just a generic name for citizens needing assistance in some fashion, shape, or form.
And how many deputies generally respond to a police assist?
Typically one,
Okay. What about a disturbance?
two, or more.
And so on this call out, this assist, how many deputies responded at that time?
To the police assist, just one, myself, sir.
And do you remember about what time you arrived there on Jenks Drive?
Take a look at my notes.
And do you have some notes there with you?
Yes, sir. The CAD notes in the incident report.
And would looking at that help refresh your memory as to exactly what time you arrived on scene?
Yes, sir.
Little,
I've got
little behind the,
1657, I believe.
little behind the
Okay.
time,
So for us
right?
civilians, that's 4:57. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And
if
were
y'all
you
heard
wearing
the
a
football
body
game.
cam at that time?
Yes, sir, I was.
And was it activated?
Yes, sir.
And have you viewed the footage from that day?
Yes, sir, I have.
And you deem that to be a fair and accurate recording of your interactions that day?
Yes, sir.
Now, you had contact, being as you're by yourself, you had contact with both Colin and Bree. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, outside of your body cam, did you have any, well, at that time, did you have any contact with either Bree or Colin outside of what's on the body camera?
No, sir, not to my recollection.
You know, this time I'd move State's Exhibit 114 into evidence.
All right. Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. State's Exhibit 114 will be admitted into evidence.
And I would move to publish.
Okay.
No objection, Your Honor.
You know, I feel for officers so much. You know that when they came back and he said, oh,
Hello. Good to see you here. Yes, sir. Indeed. What can I do for you? I'm Deputy Lynn with North County Sheriff's Office. Hey, my wife won't let me in my house. Is this wife? Dispute. Yep. So, okay, can I talk to you over here?
Yeah,
Ma'am?
I got my daughter, please.
Hey, can I just have you wait right there for just one moment, okay? Not right now. Hold on. Just one second. We'll get this figured out, okay? So what's going on, Bishop? So she's got mental health stuff going on. I was trying to leave for Georgia to get a break from her for me and the kids earlier today. And she called you guys. And when I was talking to you guys, she took my photo ID, all my access to money and everything. Okay. And then took the kids inside and locked me out. So they're locked outside in my driveway. Okay. For the last couple hours. Do you live here? What's that?
Do you live here?
Yeah, we're
Okay.
co-owners for both.
Okay.
So I've been on the phone with family advocacy through
Okay.
The Navy and all that
Okay.
most of the day, so I haven't cared that I'm outside
Okay.
until she came outside with my daughter on the porch screaming. So I came over and she gave my daughter to me. She would
Okay.
make her stop screaming.
And what's the argument over? They put in there something about kids going to Georgia.
Yeah, that was the most closest alligator to the boat.
Okay.
But she was mad that I turned off the Wi-Fi last night, so she
Okay.
washed my laptop and dishwasher.
Okay.
And that's kind of like the last straw.
You
So
guys,
is
are
it
you
legal?
guys still married?
I mean, for now, yeah.
It's still legal. It's common
Yeah.
property.
Yep.
What's yours is hers, and hers is yours. Unfortunately,
Yeah, so she's
common
not
property.
allowed to stop me from entering my house.
If it's your house and you still live here, by all means, you got into your home. However, you got into your home. Makes sense.
Yeah, so she's allowed to change the locks, and I'm allowed to break a window. Is that what you're saying?
I'm not telling you to break a window. If you want to tear it, I mean, it's your property. However, you got to get into your house. You got to get into your house. If it's your home and you live here and you got your items in there, if you got to get in, however you got to get in.
You can't like escort me in, no, and let me in.
Well, I'm going to talk to her in just a second, but we'll figure out what's going on. But
Yeah, so then anyways, back to the more recent. I'm sorry.
Okay.
She wanted to take Laney back inside.
Okay.
Laney, inside.
Okay.
Laney started screaming that she doesn't want to go inside without Daddy.
Okay.
And then she wants Laney to go inside without Daddy.
Okay.
So
here we are.
So here we are.
Okay. At any point with this argument, was it physical? Was it anybody hit, scratch, kick, bite, push, anything like that? Poke, anything even?
Nope.
Okay. So that's just basically just a verbal argument of the kids going to Georgia then. Is it a continuation from what happened earlier then? Is that fair to say?
That's continuation of years, but yeah.
Okay. Right, but I mean, because I know we were out here earlier over the kid issues.
Oh yeah, this happened directly after
Okay.
you guys were here earlier. She locked me
Okay.
out.
About what time were we here earlier?
What, 2?
2 times? Okay, that's fine. Okay. All right, just give me 1 second, okay? Let me talk to her and see what's going on. Do you mind if I step over? Talk to you?
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Hey, so if you want to talk over here, I don't, want arguing back and forth.
No,
So
it's fine. He's trouble hearing.
okay, so I'm Deputy Lynn with Central County Sheriff's Office, as I said earlier. So what's going on today?
Well, you guys were out here earlier.
Federal
I was trying to take my
215,
kids.
10-4.
I'm 10-4, thank you.
I was trying to take my kids to Georgia.
Okay.
I
Are they your kids or are they yours and his?
these two. Well, the small
Okay.
ones are mine and his.
Okay.
Um,
And so he's wanting to take them to Georgia.
yeah, I was talking to him about wanting a divorce, so he said that he's gonna take the kids to Georgia.
Okay.
And he can because we're still married.
Okay. Yeah.
We got into an argument about it.
Okay.
He pushed me up against the wall. He
Okay.
threw me onto the floor in the bathroom, and
Okay.
that's when I called the police.
Okay.
Earlier today.
Okay.
They came out. Did whatever they
Okay.
could do, which wasn't really anything.
Okay.
And then I locked him out.
Okay.
He had been in contact. Well, he had been in contact with my command.
Okay.
So he said that there's allegations of emotional abuse.
Okay.
So obviously I don't want him in there.
Okay.
Him and I arguing in front of the kids. So I
Okay.
locked him out. My daughter, she wakes up sometimes, like inconsolable from naps or whatever.
Sure.
And it's usually like him and I will pass her back and forth. It's kind of, she's fickle. Who
Okay.
she wants better. So she woke up from the nap and
When you say your daughter, you mean that one?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I had called him and texted him like, hey, we should talk. This is not the path we want to go down right now.
Right.
When she woke up like that, I brought her out here because she's used to him and I, so I brought her out here.
Okay.
So he can help calm her down. He snatched her from me and then started trying to use her to.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay.
He said, she doesn't want to come in the house unless daddy's there.
Okay.
Being manipulative.
Okay.
It's not a
So-
good environment.
I don't know if you overheard what I told him. It's his house too, right? And he lives here too. So we can't lock each other out of the house. I mean, if we do, he's got every right to enter the house. However, he's got in the house.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. And same thing. If we change the locks, he's got every right to get in the house. However, he's got to get in the house. Okay.
Okay.
If he lives here, he's got property here. For the betterment of your daughter, whatever you guys got going, you got to put aside for the kids. You see
Well,
what
I
I'm
agree,
saying?
but he told me not to talk to him. So
Okay.
I'm not going to let him in the house if he's going to come in and start
Okay.
arguing.
But at the same time, that's leaving the child. I mean, that's kind of leaving the child out here to fend for herself. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. So I
Okay.
don't want him to do that.
Okay. But I mean, I can't stop him from going inside the house.
Well, that's fine. I just wanted
Okay.
him to be me so that she's not out here.
Okay.
They said earlier that since nobody.
Oh my gosh. So let's get this straight, lady. You took your daughter outside to her dad that you had locked outside because your daughter that you don't want him to leave with wakes up from a nap crying for her dad. Therefore, you take your daughter outside so your husband, Colin, can calm her down. And now you've lied. There's no way he snatched her out of your hands. He wasn't going to hurt her. Oh my God. What else did she say? She was really trying to really just pour it on, wasn't she? I mean, oh my gosh. But you you take your child to him. Oh, I know what it was. When the cop pulled up, she says to her husband, "Can I have my daughter now? Can I have my daughter now?" And the officer spoke and said, "No, not yet." He's the one that stopped that. But I'm like, she made it sound like he wouldn't give her the daughter back prior to. I mean, she walked out there and handed him their daughter. Oh my word, she's a real bee.
I didn't have any bruises. And
Okay.
there was nobody to witness
Right.
him getting physical with me.
Okay.
They couldn't do anything.
Okay. So
what I don't
what
want
you
to
can
happen
do,
is I
and
don't want him to come in and
Okay.
get physical with me in front of my kids.
okay, what I'm gonna tell you to do is what I tell everybody to do. You got that phone, right? That phone's got a camera on it. If at any point you feel threatened or like you're going to be harmed or anything like
I don't
yeah,
want them to see that.
I get it. And but I mean, everything's not preventable. We can't,
Yeah.
we can't say, well, you guys stay out in the front yard for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I just,
At the risk of,
yeah,
of a potential
I didn't
argument.
call you. I just emailed
No,
you.
I get it. But like I said, I'm letting you know.
Okay.
At some point, we got to put our differences aside for the
Yeah.
kids, and we got to say, hey, look,
you got a guest bedroom, I got my room, or vice versa, whatever it is. I mean, if y'all sleep in separate rooms, or maybe somebody, take a chill pill and sleep on the couch tonight,
Right. He
which
won't do that. He told me not to talk to him.
All right,
So
well,
I want to get my daughter out of the bugs and heat, if that's okay. And
Yeah.
I have a.
I'm perfectly fine with that. But I mean, like I said, it's just something that we got to, I mean, if bringing your daughter inside means he gets to come inside too, that might be something where we got to say, look, let's make a compromise. If you want to come inside with her, that's fine. I'm gonna go to the room and I'm gonna close the door and I'm gonna stay here. But at least your daughter's safe and she's not, out here in the road or whatever, or in the heat, getting bug bites or something like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I'm gonna grab her.
Okay. Let me just get some information from you real quick. What's the kid's names?
Kylie.
Is it KY?
KYLIE is my 12-year-old.
KYLIE. Okay.
Kylie Kuhn. I'm sorry. I really have to go back in because my 4-year-old. Can I just?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Well, if he's gonna wait out here for just a second with her, and I'll go inside if you want with you. And
I don't want them alone with her.
okay. Well, then we can all walk back inside.
Okay.
All right.
I don't want that either.
Okay. Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. But we need to check on the 4-year-old. We want to make sure the 4-year-old.
No, that's fine. My 12-year-old's in there.
Okay. All right. So what's Kylie's last name?
Kuhn. Kuhn.
Kuhn. What's the middle name?
Should have one.
You have one. Okay. What's her date of birth?
Who the world is she calling? Well, the cops are. She's so rude.
Okay.
Yeah, he called you, so can you get the information from him?
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, are you not wanting? I'm just trying to get names of the kids.
Yeah, no, I gave them to the people here.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I'm okay.
Oh, yeah.
By all means. All right.
Oh, guess she called her
So I got
brother.
Kylie's name. What's the other child's name? Is this Kylie?
No, this
Girl.
is Lainey.
Okay.
Kylie's 12.
Okay. All right. So what's her name? Lainey.
Lainey.
Spell it for me.
LANEY.
Okay. And what's his same last name? Kuhn. Turner.
Oh, and you
Okay.
know,
And what's her date of birth?
August 1st of 2000.
she was asking if she could take her daughter in. She picks up the phone and calls somebody, tells the officer he just needs to get the information from her husband because he's the one that called because she's got someone on the phone now. Hoity toity.
2018.
Okay. What's the last name? I got Lainey and Kylie.
And JP Turner.
It's just J and P.
Yeah, John Patrick.
That's what I need.
JP.
Okay. And Turner.
Yep.
And what's the date of birth?
April 25th, 2017.
Okay. And they all reside here in this house too.
Yep.
Okay. So what I'm gonna tell you is this: you were asking earlier, if it's your house, how do you get inside? It's your house, you got to get inside. However you get inside. Okay. I can't tell you how to get inside your own house. If you got to call a locksmith, that's fine. If you've got another way in, it's up to you. It's your property. It's your house. Okay. You got to get in how you got to get in. Okay. For the sake of the children, though, what we got to do is we got to figure something out between you two. Okay. And I understand we can't fix, all the problems in 10 minutes. Okay. But when it comes to a point, where we're standing out in the driveway with a kid and it's hot. I mean, it's a hot day. You're sweating. I'm sweating. I know she's sweating.
215,
Okay.
10%.
I'm 10-4. Thank you. Can you make this a 20 and link it to 104's call from earlier? I believe you got a case number 8028, I believe.
10-4.
Maybe a cop out, but my wife's got borderline disorder, and she's nice to you.
Well, I understand.
Like
I understand.
that when you're not here.
I've met her before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You were in March?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Apologies for not recognizing
No,
you.
you're okay. You're okay. But yeah, I'm familiar with it. And like I said, it's just we got to come to a situation where the kids aren't standing in the driveway all day. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the compromise may be, if you say, look, you want kid to come inside, I want kid to come inside. You don't want me inside. How about this? We'll just separate rooms.
145, 10%.
Something like that. You see what I'm saying? We got to come to an agreement where we can all kind of be adults and say, for the betterment of the children, if the children ain't standing here in the driveway all day, we got to get them inside so they don't get overheated and whatnot. Bug bites, mosquitoes, things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I mean, and in the end, it's about taking care of kids, right? We got to be adults, but we got to step up and we got to say, hey, look, let's work something out. And maybe that's a conversation you guys need to have is see if we can figure something out, some sort of compromise. But so we're not coming out here all the time. And I'm telling you, we keep coming out here. If it turns physical at any point, somebody's going to have to go to jail. Okay, state law requires somebody to go to jail. If somebody gets physical and there's an evidence of it, somebody's going to jail. Okay, whether it's you, whether it's her, I don't know, but
I wanted to go to Georgia, and why I've been happy staying out here all day. Because
well, they're your kids. I'm sure, like that deputy told you earlier, they're your kids. They're her kids. I can't tell you what to do, and that's a civil matter. Okay, so if you want to take the two kids and go, and she's good with it, great. If you want to take the kids and she's not good with it, well, it's possession's 9/10 of the law. Okay, you know what I'm saying? It's a civil issue though. But if you guys are going through a divorce, make sure you get a child custody agreement of some sort. That's worked into the divorce paperwork as well, if that's the case. Okay.
Yep.
I'm gonna go in there and speak to her one more time. Do you have any questions for me?
So she can take my driver's license.
Does she have your driver's license?
Yeah.
Where's that right now?
I don't know where it's at.
Okay.
When I was talking to the deputies in my garage giving a statement earlier, she
Okay.
came out to my truck and took my wallet. So 3
Okay.
forms of ID and
So your wallet and your driver's license are the things she's got from you right now?
yep.
Okay. All right. I'll go in there and talk to her and ask her about them. Okay. Okay. All right.
So, of course, she took his wallet. Of course, she did. Of course, she's going to lie about it. Of course, she will. Sweet little old me. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Hello. I didn't want to let your dog these out. So since you got his Walton driver's license, do you know what those items are? Did you remove them from his truck earlier?
No, I took
Okay,
took my American Express.
because those are personal items, okay? So
You
those are
liar.
personal items, not common shared items, okay? You know, if we take them from him, that's a theft, okay?
Okay.
Does that make sense? So if we've got those items need to be returned. I'm just gonna tell you that, okay? That's a fair warning, okay? As far as tonight, we've got to figure out something where you guys can, maybe one of y'all can get a hotel, maybe one of y'all can agree to sleep in another room or something like that or whatever. But what we got to do is we get something figured out that way we're not out here 10 more times tonight. You see what I'm saying? Okay. So he's going to bring the kid inside the house. Okay. And this is his house too. We're not going to prevent him from coming inside his house. Okay.
Yeah, so you were.
Okay. All right. So this is his house. He's going to bring the kid inside the house. And we're going to get things worked out, right? So we're not coming back out here 10 more times. Because if we do come out here and somebody tells me somebody's been physical and I can find some evidence of such, i.e. red marks, bruises, scrapes, scratches, or an evidence, or witness or anything like that, it's kind of somebody's going to wind up in jail. Might be you, might be him. I don't know. I can't predict the future. Okay. But what I'm telling you is if we continue to go down this route, we're going to start resorting to other things. Okay. Does that make sense? And I don't want to do that. Okay. I mean, I want everybody to get along and enjoy their night. Okay. For like I said, for the children's sake, if nothing else, you know, I mean, we can hate each other, but you know, in front of the kids, to, you know, we can say, yeah. And again, I mean, I can't make you do something. If that's not how you want to be. That's not how you want to be. But it's just probably for the best. Okay. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So can we agree to let him in so he can bring the kid inside and so she can get cooled down?
Yes.
Right.
So he's not going to harass the kids.
No, he's not going to bother anybody. And if he does, you can give us a call. We'll come back out here. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Any questions for me, Stephanie? Okay. I appreciate you being cooperative with me. Thank you.
He's not going to harass the kids. What? I haven't seen any harassing of children.
Okay, sir. You're good to go. She's going to let you back inside with the kid. Cool. All right. We just, like I said, let's just try not to nitpick at each other. Okay. I mean, I'm not saying you are, but we got to come to a resolution on it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, all right. All right. I appreciate you, sir. Yeah, thank you. Yes, sir. And if you get anything and you need us, just let me know. Appreciate it. Yes, sir. Oh, I did ask her about the Walton driver's license. She said she doesn't know where they are. Unfortunately, I can't prove that she does know where they are. I get that for you. I got you. You got your hands full. All right. Here we go. You might want to wash it off. It hit the ground. All right. Off inside. You're welcome. All right. Thank you, sir.
Deputy Lynn, after that recording we just watched, at any point did you respond back to that same location?
Yes, sir.
Okay. About how much later was it you arrived back at that location?
I don't have the note on me. I believe it's somewhere within an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. It wasn't too long.
And what was the situation as you arrived on scene?
The second time?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It was a little bit kind of hectic, chaotic. I kind of arrived last, I believe. I was one of the last units that got there. Just kind of a little bit hectic.
Okay. And again, at that time, were you wearing a body camera?
Yes, sir, I was.
And was it recording?
Yes, sir, it was.
And have you viewed a copy of that recording?
Yes, sir, I have.
And was that a fair and accurate portrayal of what you witnessed on the scene the second time?
Yes, sir.
You know, at this time, I'd like to admit State's Exhibit 115 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. State's Exhibit 115 will be admitted.
Move to publish.
Okay.
No objection to publication, Your Honor.
I'm ready, Judge.
Station clear.
This is sad.
And my other two kids are 4 and 3. And they're in that house too.
Search her already. Hold on, real quick. We're gonna search you, okay? Just hold on to your hand real fast, okay? I don't know yet, man. I just got.
No, I'm fine. That's my kids and my husband.
Are the kids in the house?
No, they're with the neighbor. Christy Curtis, John. Christy and John Curtis. Any other? I have nothing. Thing on you that I need to be aware of? Nothing. Anything in your bra? No bra? I do have a bra. Just gonna pull apart and make sure you don't have anything in it, okay? Nursing bra. He was dead. I saw him and I tried to help, but he was dead. Well, let's not talk about that right now, okay? My kids don't have a dad or a mom now. And it's my fault. He's right. All right. So right now, we're just gonna do this for right now, okay?
Just for your safety for ours, okay?
I'm the murderer.
So listen, you're not listening to me. You're not under arrest right now. You're being detained. Okay? We'll investigate.
No, you should arrest me. I killed my husband. Hopefully, I just shot him. Maybe he's not dead. He should not be dead.
Double lock her up.
How come they're not going to get him? The ambulance. I think they need to talk to you too. So, will the ambulance go get him?
All right. Search her. She's good. I'm going to sit in the car. Don't sit down. All right. Go ahead and have a seat and call for me, okay? Listen to me. Man,
Yes.
go ahead and have a seat and call for me. It's easiest if you sit your butt down first and you twist your feet inside, okay? Can you do that for me right now? I appreciate it. We'll get this figured out, okay? I'm going to let you know as soon as I know something, okay?
He's dead.
Listen to me. I'm going to let you know as soon as I know something, okay?
I think he's in shock.
All right. Just twist around. Feet inside there, okay? Now listen, I'm going to crack this window for you so you can get some airflow, okay? Do you feel like you need EMS to check you out? Are you breathing okay? Okay, look at me. Okay, take some nice deep breaths, okay? I can see you holding your breath right now, okay? Okay? Can I let these gentlemen look at you from EMS? Can I let them look at you at least? Okay. Okay. Can y'all look at her? I think she's in shock. Hey, do you want to kick your feet out and sit on the edge of the chair here so they can talk to you? Okay. She's in shock. What's your name again, man? Rebecca, right? What's your name? Bree. I'm sorry, Bree. Bree.
You don't want to confirm or anything?
I don't think so. Let me ask them real fast. Hey, keep an eye on him. Hey. They want to know, do they need to confirm or is he obvious?
No.
Okay.
I want to know.
Okay. Hey. They don't need to confirm.
When we responded twice today, there was 3 kids, 10-12. Can you advise if they're 10-4?
We're trying to locate where they're at right now.
215, she's advising me at the neighbor's house.
John and Christy Curtis. John and
What's
Christy
house
Curtis.
number?
It's like 4 up.
4 up on the north side of the road? On the north side of the road?
On the right.
South side of the road? 215, she's advising her John and Christy Curtis.
Deputy Lynn, after what we observed there on the body cam, did you proceed to the Curtis residence?
Yes, sir, I did.
And who did you locate at that residence?
The 3 children.
Thank you, sir. Those are my questions.
Strathford, cross-examination.
Thank you, Hunter. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
You had been out to that 6184 Jenks Avenue several months before.
Oh, speak up.
September 8, 2021, hadn't you?
Prior to September, yes, sir.
And the call was for this young lady being suicidal, correct?
Yes, sir, I believe so.
And according to your information, she called her brother in regards to suicidal idealization, and that's when you guys got called out, right?
Yes, sir.
And at the time, she met the criteria for Baker Act and was admitted to a medical facility, wasn't she?
Yes, sir.
And basically, you correct me if I'm wrong, but basically a Baker Act commitment occurs when a person poses a potential threat to themselves or others, right?
More or less, yes, sir.
Okay. You were aware that she was the chief petty officer of the Navy as a security officer at one time, right?
Yes, sir.
In the first video we saw today, you were aware that one of your fellow officers, now detective, he was a patrol deputy back then, Hartbarger, had been out there already that morning, right? Or earlier that day.
Yes, sir, correct.
And you weren't sure whether Bree called that time or whether Mr. Turner called, were you?
The previous call? No, sir, I wasn't aware of who called.
Were you aware that he had taken or snatched the 3-year-old out of her arms and taken her outside?
I wasn't, I'm sorry, I wasn't aware of very much of the information from the previous call.
He did not take the child outside. He did not snatch her out of her mom's arms and take the child outside. Is that what he just said? Oh, surely not.
And you weren't sure whether Bree called that time or whether Mr. Turner called, were you?
The previous call? No, sir. I wasn't aware of who called.
Were you aware that he had taken or snatched the 3-year-old out of her arms and taken her outside? When
I
you got
wasn't.
there?
All right. Misrepresentation, misstatement of facts by the attorney yet again. Wow.
I'm sorry. I wasn't aware very much of the information from the previous call.
But you were aware that he was threatening to take the rest of the children with him to Georgia, right?
Yes, sir.
Were you aware, or was it made known to you that he had guns out there in the same truck he was going to take his children to Georgia?
I don't recall hearing anything about firearms.
And Bree told you that she had been pushed or hit by him, didn't she?
She told me that she had spoke with the deputies previously about a physical altercation. Yes, sir.
And when you got out there, the first video was about, what time was it, 4 something in the afternoon, correct?
Yes, sir. Looking at my CAD notes, we received the call at 16:57, we 4:57. I was dispatched at 5 o'clock even, and I responded, was on scene by 5:22.
Thank you. And on the video, I wrote this down, but she told you she called the police because he threw her down the bathroom floor and pushed her in a wall, but nothing was done. That's what she said in this video, wasn't it?
Correct, sir.
And I just asked you, so I'm not going to ask you again. But she said clearly and plainly in this video, I don't want to leave him alone, her alone with him. That's what she told you on the video, didn't she? Talking about Mr. Turner and Laney, the little girl.
Yes, sir.
And she told you she took the American Express card, but that belonged to her, right?
I don't recall the conversation of the American Express.
Okay. But she denied taking any driver's license or identification from Mr. Turner, didn't she?
She told me she had not.
Okay. You didn't charge her with that of any ID, did you?
No, sir, I did not.
She was never arrested for theft, was she?
No, sir, not to my knowledge.
And what she was most concerned with, it appeared to me from watching the video, and you agree with me, the video speaks for itself, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But what it appeared to me, what she's most concerned with is as long as he's not going to harass the kids. That's what she said on that video, didn't she?
That is a statement she made, yes, sir.
Harass the kids, the 3-year-old and 4-year-old. Harass the kids. How would he even go about harassing these children that absolutely seem to adore him?
Now, let's switch gears to the second video. I believe her words was, I saw him and I tried to help him. That was one of the first statements she made, right?
I don't recall such a statement.
Would you refer to the video that we just watched?
I don't specifically remember that statement.
That was your body cam. You had your body cam on. That's what we just watched, wasn't it?
Yes, sir. If that's what was on the video.
She said that on your body cam, and it's on that video. Would you defer to that?
If that's what's on the video, yes, sir.
Okay.
Forgive me, I didn't hear it.
No problem. And I believe her exact words. My kids don't have a mom or a dad anymore.
Yes, sir.
And you had her checked out by the EMS because of what you suspected was shock.
Yes, sir.
To your knowledge, she never tried to run or hide from law enforcement, did she?
No, sir, not to my knowledge.
She didn't try to leave in that Traverse, that white Traverse that was parked out there, did she?
No, sir, not to my knowledge.
Were you aware, or did you become aware, that she told law enforcement exactly where the firearm was that was used?
I was not aware of that at the time.
And on the video again, she asked you, how come you're not calling the ambulance, didn't she?
Yes, sir.
You have a moment, Your Honor. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Any redirect? Deputy Lynn, Ms. Etheridge asked you about her making the statement about she didn't want to leave him alone with the child, correct?
Correct, sir.
And that's the same child that she intentionally brought out and handed to Colin because the child was upset. Is that correct?
To my knowledge, yes, sir.
That's what she told you?
Yes, sir.
I brought this child out, handed her to Colin so that he could calm it down, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And in terms of her rendering aid, if she has shot her husband to death, is rendering aid going to do any good?
I couldn't speak to that. I wouldn't assume so.
Yeah, thanks, sir.
Okay. Could this witness be excused or does he need to remain?
I would ask that he remain, Judge. I mean, he's free to go, but I may
Remain on standby?
Yes, sir. I'll have him on standby for Thursday, and I will.
All right. Any objection to that?
Not at all, Your Honor.
Sir, you're now excused, but please remain on standby.
Well, at least the prosecution got up there and said just what I said. But I still don't understand how the defense is allowed to do that. I mean, is that misrepresenting fact? Is it lying to the jury? What exactly would that fall under? Little white lie? Little white lie don't cut it. And they're not interrogating someone. They're defending someone. So I just don't think that they're supposed to stand up in open court and tell lies. But these attorneys have no problem lying.
All right. Mr. Alderman, call your next witness.
State call Deputy Bonner.
Senator Wild, may we approach briefly?
Okay. Okay, we'll be in recess. We'll be back around 2:30.
Thank you,
All
Your
right.
Honor.
Whoops. I said beat Bree. Probably needed a break. Jeez.
Trying to keep everything organized here.
Probably want to get rid of the redacted one.
Your Honor, why are you not standing up when the jury comes in? I need to know this. I may have come in late. It may have already happened, but you'll see at some point. Y'all will see this judge doesn't stand for the jury. I'm just so tripped out by that. Watch, he didn't stand. Your Honor. Reminds me of Red Skeleton. When the side view, Red Skeleton dude. Red Skeleton wouldn't have got up there and lied.
Okay, raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Whoops!
Yes, sir. Have a seat in the chair. Pull the chair close to the microphone and speak into the microphone loud enough so that everybody can hear you. Mr. Alderman?
Thanks, sir. Sir, would you please state your name and spell your name for the record?
Deputy Kyler Bonner, Kylerbohner.
And where are you employed, sir?
Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been there?
A little over 7 years.
Okay. And what are your duties with the Sheriff's Office?
I currently work in patrol.
You're currently working nights, is that right?
Evenings. It's referred to as a swing shift, but it runs into nights.
I want to talk to you about September 8th of 2021. Were you on duty that day?
Yes.
Okay. And at some point that, did you respond to a shooting?
Yes.
And where did you go?
I don't know the specific address off the top of my head. I was assisting another deputy on a separate call. I was currently with the K-9 division at the time. So with those duties, I'm all over the county.
Okay.
I just happened to be in the bar during that time frame. And I heard the emergency tone come out through our radio traffic, and then I proceeded to respond to that area.
And when you say the emergency, what did that indicate to you? What kind of call did you understand it to be?
So typically high priority calls, usually referring to danger, violent crimes. They dispatch tones, a specific tone that lets you know the severity of that call. It basically puts deputies on alert to pay attention to the radio traffic being passed.
Okay. Now, once you arrived at the scene, did you have any involvement in locating a firearm?
Yes.
Okay. And where did you ultimately locate that firearm?
Inside the kitchen, it was I was able to see it resting by the toaster on the countertop.
Okay. Now, during that time frame, were you wearing a body cam?
Yes.
And was it recording?
Yes.
And the copy of that recording, is that a fair and accurate recording of your body camera?
Yes.
Okay. This time I'd like to move State's Exhibit 111 into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, State's Exhibit 111 will be admitted.
And Judge, I'll move to publish.
You may.
No objection, Your Honor.
I didn't mean to call you off. I mean, you were closer to No, you're good. You're good.
Who did she shoot?
He's in the, I don't know who he is, but he's in the garage. In the chest, or it looks like in the chest. Might be two.
Deputy Pinto, who is that other deputy with you there?
The other deputy with me there is Deputy Pinto.
Pinto, thanks.
They said they heard 4 gunshots though.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I don't see a signal 0 anyway.
You got an extra glove?
Might have to come up here after that on up there yet.
Different.
158 to 61. Any supervisor on scene?
Hey, sorry. Bonner calling. Bonner calling.
Hey, I got eyes on the signal 0 here in the kitchen, behind the toaster. 26. It's it looks like it's in the holster,
Yeah.
But it's stuck behind the toaster next to the fridge. I haven't touched it.
Okay. They need you to move your vehicle so this lady next door can get out.
Okay.
I appreciate you.
Thanks, Judge. Deputy Bonner, a couple times there, you make mention of a signal 0. What is a signal 0?
So we have signals and 10 codes with the agency that mean a certain thing. Signal 0 in that instance refers to a weapon.
And after locating the firearm there in the kitchen, as we saw, did you have any further involvement in the investigation of the case?
No.
Thanks, sir.
Mr. Etheridge?
Good afternoon, sir. In looking at the video, I saw a whole bunch of bottles of prescription medications. You remember seeing those up there in the pantry and the shelf?
I don't recall.
When you were looking at, did you see them over there? You can stop and put back there a couple of times. There's a whole row of prescription bottles up there. You ever seen one?
I wasn't paying attention to the bottles.
Okay, did you look at those prescription bottles to see who that medication was for?
Does he even listen to the answers he's given? I mean, I'm just curious. The young man just said, I didn't pay any attention to those prescriptions or those bottles, one of the two. He paid them no, never mind, dude. And then what does he ask him? Right after he says he paid no attention to them? Did you see whose names were on the bottles? Well, y'all, I'm not sure why he's even bringing this up. I'm really not sure why. But just a second. All right, so let me just help the little dude out. Um, I'm not sure why he was asking that because they're all his clients' medications.
I don't believe I did.
Thank you, sir.
Any redirect?
No redirect, sir.
All right, can this witness be excused?
Yes, sir.
No objection by the defense, Your
Very
Honor.
much step down. You're now excused.
Well, sorry about that. I could have said all that after he was excused.
All right, Mr. Alderman, call your next witness.
Yeah, we call Deputy Pinto.
All right. The only thing he did was I think check the gun.
All right, sir, raise your right hand.
Do you solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am. All right, sir, have a seat in the chair. Pull the chair as close to the microphone as you can. Speak into the microphone loud enough so that everybody can hear you, okay?
Yes, sir.
Sir, would you please state your name for the record?
Felipe Pinto,
And where you're employed, sir?
Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been with the sheriff's office?
Going on 5 years.
And what are your duties there at the sheriff's office?
Right now, I'm a field training officer, but I'm a road deputy as well.
Now, were you on duty on September 8th of 2021?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you respond to a call that evening?
Yes, sir.
Where did you go?
To 6148 Jenks Drive.
Okay. Do you remember roughly what time you arrived at that location?
It's around 6:30ish.
Okay. And did you proceed inside that residence?
Yes, sir.
Where did you initially go inside that residence?
The garage.
Okay. And what did you observe inside the garage?
Went under the garage door, wasn't fully open yet, and there was a deceased male subject laid on the floor.
Okay. And in terms of his, let's say, medical condition, was he beyond any kind of age?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, at some point after that, did you observe a firearm inside the residence?
Yes, sir.
Where was that?
Behind a toaster in the kitchen. If you turn right, it was where the fridge is, I believe.
Okay. Now, when you were there on scene, were you wearing a body camera?
Yes, sir.
And was it recording?
Yes, sir.
And have you viewed the footage from your body cam? Is that an accurate copy of the scene as you witnessed it that day?
Yes, sir.
Now, this time I'd like to move States Exhibit 110 into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. State Exhibit 110 will be admitted into evidence.
Yeah, that's fine.
You know, state would move to publish State Exhibit 110.
All right.
No objection, Your Honor.
Anybody else in there?
Okay, let's see. Mm. Hold on a second. Okay, so Officer Pinto really doesn't have much to do with this. He goes into the kitchen, and that is where uh, the previous officer was there, and or they were there together basically. But the previous officer that testified found the weapon, and this one just confirmed that it was behind the toaster in a holster. But I mean, that was all that he was called to the stand for on the defense side. I mean, the prosecution side. For the defense, they're going to get up and ask a few questions, of course. Or,
It's it looks like it's in the holster. Yeah. But it's stuck behind the toaster next to where it's at.
Okay, they need you to move your vehicle so this lady next door can get out. Okay, I appreciate it.
21 to 6.
Yeah, I didn't move it behind the toaster.
Uh-huh. Yes, sir.
Go ahead. 1039 to EN38. She's going to get purchased as fast as possible. 1014.
Set behind a toaster. Toaster. Camera. Signal 0. Not touched.
Thank you, Judge. Deputy.
I know I just said this a moment ago, but I can't remember if I said for sure. The reason that I didn't play Officer Pinto when he was going inside the house is he went through the garage, and Colin's body is still there. So, out of respect, I'm not going to show him laying there as he is. Yes, children that one day will get older, and I personally think that the less of those photos out there, the better. So um, I just didn't show them. Okay.
Deputy Pinto, did you have any involvement in the investigation of the case?
No, sir.
Thank you, sir. Those are my questions.
Cross-examination?
Thank you.
Of course, a cross examination does.
Y'all didn't have any problem getting in or out of that garage, did you?
While it was open?
Yeah.
No, sir.
And the garage door opener worked, didn't it? I think it was Major Brigman, looked like to me. Hit the garage door open and it came up, didn't it?
That was Sergeant Clements. Yes, sir.
Okay, Sergeant. What do you guys? But it worked, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You never spoke to Bree, did you?
No, sir.
Were you aware that she told Major Brinkman where that firearm was?
No, sir.
You ever ask him?
Nope.
Did you have any contact with Bree whatsoever?
No, sir.
That day? And I believe that was your voice in this body camera, which said 3 in the chest, right?
Yes, sir.
Thanks, sir.
Can you redirect?
Deputy Pinto, Colin appeared to have holes in his chest when you saw him. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever roll him over to count how many holes he had in his back?
No.
Thanks, sir.
All right, can this witness be excused?
Yes, sir.
No objection by defense, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you may step down. You're now excused.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Alderman, call your next witness.
State would call Douglas Bringmans.
All right, sir, raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth so help you God?
I swear. All right, sir, have a seat in the chair. Pull the chair as close to the microphone as you can and speak loud enough to the microphone so everybody can hear you. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thanks, sir. Sir, would you please state your name for the record?
Douglas Bringmans,
Where are you employed?
Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been with the sheriff's office?
Almost 26 years.
And what is your position with the sheriff's office?
Major over Special Operations Division.
And what are your basic duties as a major with the sheriff's office?
The units involve school resource, fleet, drone units, disaster response, traffic, canine, criminal interdiction, and a couple other things.
And you oversee all of those units?
Yes, sir.
Now, I want to talk to you about September 8th of 2021. What was your assignment at that time?
I was working as a watch commander to replace one of the lieutenants that couldn't be there that night.
Okay. Is that something that you had expected to be doing?
Yes, sir. We were short one lieutenant, so captains and above were taking rotations to fill in for the missing position.
Okay. Now, that early evening, did you respond to a call?
Yes, sir.
Where did you go?
Myself and Sergeant Clements were on a previous call at Walmart in Gulf Breeze when the call came out to an address off of River Birch.
And when you arrived on scene, what did you observe?
There were some people standing on the lawn on the property line between the residence that we were responding to in the neighbor's house. The garage was about a quarter of the way up, and Deputy Pinto and Sergeant Clements entered the residence, and I went to go speak to the people that are standing on the property line next door.
And did you have contact with the defendant in this case, Ms. Bree Kuhn?
Yes, sir.
And where did you make contact with her?
On the neighbor's porch, sitting on like a bench in front of the neighbor's house.
Okay. And what happened once you approached Ms. Kuhn?
She had what appeared to be a 12-year-old female child standing next to her, and she told her that everything would be fine and that she was sorry. And when I spoke to her, I asked her if she was all right, and she said that I shot him.
Did she say anything else about the shooting?
She repeated it 2 more times, and then I asked her to come with me because I needed to bring her to one of our vehicles to secure her. And she told me that she shot him because he was going to take that she shot him because he was going to take my children.
Now, during this time frame, were you wearing a body cam?
No, sir.
Why not?
Captains and above at the time were not wearing body cams, and we weren't issued any.
And you're not wearing a body cam currently, correct?
No, sir.
As a major?
Yes, sir.
The person that you made contact with on the porch that made those statements of, I shot him, he's going to take my kids. Do you see that person in the courtroom today?
Stipulated, this is Bree Kuhn. Person in the porch.
Okay, defense is stipulated that the defendant made those statements. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, fair to say, other deputies show up?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And once other deputies arrived, did you have any involvement in the investigation of the case or what happened?
No, sir. I just brought Ms. Kuhn back to one of the vehicles where she was secured. And I want to say it was Deputy Lohaw's vehicle. I'm not 100% sure. And then I just stayed on scene to make sure crime scene arrived, major crimes, and that we had a secured scene until major crimes took over.
And can you describe her sort of basic demeanor as you were speaking with her and walking with her?
I mean, I'm not an expert on how people are as far as whether she was in shock or anything, but I'm assuming she was in some kind of distress.
And the location you responded to there, was that in Santa Rosa County?
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks, sir.
All right, cross-examination.
Good afternoon, sir. Were you aware, did Bree tell you or another officer where that firearm was?
I asked her on the when she was sitting on the porch. I asked her because there wasn't a fence around the property, so my concern was, where's the gun? I asked her where the firearm was, and she just told me in the house. She didn't say where in the house. She just said in the house.
You heard her telling her older child, the older female child, that she was sorry and everything was fine. Right?
Yes, sir.
She said she shot him because he was going to take the children at least a couple of times. She told you that.
No, she said she shot him 3 times. But when we got up to walk to the car, she said she shot him because he was going to take the kids. But that's only one time that she said that.
Now, she cooperated with law enforcement fully, didn't she?
At that point in time, yes, sir.
And without you giving her Miranda rights, without her having an attorney present, none of that whatsoever. She told you straight up exactly what happened, didn't she?
She told me that she shot him and why she shot him as a spontaneous utterance.
Based on your 26 plus years of training experience, it was obvious to you that she was either in distress or shot. That would be your opinion.
That she was in some kind of distress, yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hey, redirect.
Just briefly, Judge. Major, I think you said, she said I shot him 3 times. Did she say I shot him 3 times, or did she say I shot him and she said that 3 times?
She said I shot him, then paused, and then repeated what she said 2 more times.
Okay. So she never specified how many times she shot him?
No, sir. She didn't specify whether she shot him once or 10 times. She didn't say any of that.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can this witness be excused?
Yes, sir.
No objection by defense, Your Honor.
All right, sir. You may step down. You're now excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So right there you have it. And the defense attorney's even bragging about it, right? He said, well, she talked to you, right? With nobody there. He said, yes, sir. And what did she say? She said, I shot him, I shot him, I shot him. Because he was going to take her children. That's what the answer was for on the prosecution side. The defense gets up and just kind of hammers that home. So, yeah, she didn't say she shot him because she was afraid. Nope. Kind of like the trick she pulled in the morning or early afternoon when she called the cops the first time. She called claiming battery. That didn't get him arrested because there was no proof. And then she pulled up the R accusation, which they just glossed over. Well, he offered her to fill out a report. And if she'd have filled out the report, then he'd have had to offer the kit and other stuff. But she declined. So good for y'all. That was a brilliant witness. Every witness has to produce or bring in their own evidence. So, and this goes really quick. You'll be amazed.
Mr. Alderman, call your next witness.
Today we call Sergeant Metzler.
All right, sir, raise your right hand. Go ahead and swear, miss.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. All right, sir, have a seat in the chair. Pull the chair as close to the microphone as you can and talk in the microphone loud enough so that everybody can hear you.
Yes, sir.
You may go ahead.
Thank you, sir. Sir, would you please state your name for the record?
Curtis Metzler,
Can you spell your last name?
Metzler.
Where are you employed?
Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
And how long have you been there?
I think 12 years.
Okay. And what is your present position with the Sheriff's Office?
I am a sergeant assigned to special operations over to school resource officers.
Okay. Now, I want to focus your attention back on September 8th of 2021. What were your duties at that time?
I was a patrol sergeant down in District 2, which is the Navarre area.
Okay. And did you respond out to the scene of a shooting that evening?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And were you wearing a body camera at that time?
Yes, sir.
And was it recording?
Yes, sir.
And have you been able to view the footage of that recording?
Yes, sir.
And was that a fair and accurate copy of the scene as you witnessed it that evening?
Yes.
Now, at this time, I would move into Evidence States Exhibit 126.
Any objection?
No objection by defense, Your Honor.
State's Exhibit 126 will be admitted into evidence.
I would move to publish, Judge.
May.
No objection by defense.
Report to your neighbor. I got you guys fire with you.
8597. 8597. Where's 8597?
Jim, I have a female out here with me. Butler, come over here.
Oh.
All right,
This is Debbie Lowe. Come here, Sheila. It's okay.
Are you in shop?
Well, do me a favor. Can you, they're working on him right now.
Okay.
I need you to go with this deputy, have a secret car. She's going to hang out with you.
Take her. I'll get an EMS from check her out. Come on, sweetheart. Come on, let's go. Come over here. That way we'll get EMS to check you out. Make sure you're okay. Okay.
All right.
Come on.
Come over here. Okay.
Come over here. Come this way. Come on.
My oldest daughter.
Where's your kids at?
That's my oldest right there.
Okay.
She's 12. Her dad's name is James. How do you join her? Give him the D.
Okay. All right, have a seat. Have a seat.
Thanks, sir. And Sergeant Mestel, at that point, you walked away from the vehicle, and other deputies had contact with Ms. Kuhn. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And other than being there as a sergeant, did you have any involvement in the investigation of the case?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Thank you. So those are my questions.
Cross-examination?
Looking at that video there from
Oh
the
my
body
God.
cam, obviously Bree was upset and worried about her kids and kept asking if he was alive, the person that got shot, wasn't she?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And she told you right up front, she kept saying she shot her husband and kept asking if he was alive, didn't she?
I don't believe she told me that she had shot her or shot him, but she did say that asked if he was alive.
And you had an EMS check her out because you feared she was going in the shot.
Yeah, I figured after you witnessed or involved with anything, because at that point we didn't know what had actually happened, just make sure that she wasn't going into shock or anything of that nature.
So let me just say that I think that when you sit here like that and you kill someone, whether you meant to because you were mad or what, once you've done it, I would think anybody goes in shock. I think you know, you'd have to be an extra special monster to not. At least the first time, anyway. That's just my opinion.
Remember seeing that red truck that was in the video there parked in the driveway?
Yes, sir. There was 2 cars there in the driveway.
Do you remember your fellow officers going inside that truck and finding guns inside that truck?
No, sir.
Where did you find out some later time that that had occurred?
That
There were guns in there?
Oh no, sir. I didn't know that.
And were you aware that law enforcement had been called out there earlier at the same address?
At that time, no, sir, I had not. But after being there, then yes, I had been told that we had been out there earlier.
And basically nothing happened. There was no arrest. Nothing happened.
To my knowledge, no, sir.
Thank you.
Any redirect?
Just briefly, Sergeant, is there anything wrong with somebody having a firearm in their vehicle?
No, sir.
Okay, thanks, sir.
All right, can this witness be excused?
Yes, sir.
No objection by defense, Your Honor.
Okay, sir, you may step down. You're now excused.
I mean, come on, defense. Are you every single person you're going to ask whether or not they knew he had guns in his truck? And what else is it that you keep asking? It's getting old and monotonous, but we all know Bruce shot him. You could have just gone without asking, actually, I think. But
Mr. Alderman, call your next witness.
Judge, we want to approach briefly.
Oh, okay. All right, members of the jury, we need to take another break. This break will probably last about 15 minutes. And what I'm going to do is, again, instruct you, do not talk about this case. Do not engage in any deliberations with each other. Leave your notepads and pens underneath your chairs, and you can go ahead and go out with court security.
Your Honor, stand for your jury, Your Honor. I think that's that defendant giggling a lot during her trial. All right, we started with please rise for the jury. They went on a break.
Okay, everybody can be seated. Mr. Alderman, go ahead and call your next witness.
David called Kelly Smith.
Go ahead and raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, ma'am, have a seat in the chair. Make sure you pull the chair as close to the mic as you can and speak into the mic loud enough so that everybody can hear you. Mr. Alderman, you may proceed.
Thanks, sir. Ma'am, please state your name for the record
Kelly Smith,
and where you're employed.
Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office,
How long have you been with the Sheriff's Office?
almost 18 years.
And what are your duties with the Sheriff's Office?
I work in the crime scene department as a crime scene tech 1.
And what are your basic duties as a crime scene tech?
Go out to a crime scene, photograph, collect evidence, package, do fingerprinting, and then turn evidence into the evidence department.
Now, I want to direct your attention to September 8th of 2021. Were you on duty that evening?
Yes, sir.
And where did you respond to?
I believe it was 6184 Jinx Drive.
Now, when you arrive at a crime scene, what is your standard procedure when you arrive at a crime scene?
When we first arrive at a crime scene, we make contact with, in this case, it was my direct supervisor, Keith Johnson, and then take direction from there from the detective that you make contact with.
And do you typically take any photographs when you arrive on a scene?
We do. We generally take photographs of outside and inside.
Okay. And at what point in the process do you typically do that?
At the beginning, middle, and end.
So you document the scene before anything is touched or moved. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now, in this particular situation, there on Jenks Drive, did you take any photographs?
I did.
Okay. Got my first witness?
You may.
This handed you what's been marked as State Exhibits 2 through 74 for identification purposes. You previously looked through those photographs, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you recognize those photographs?
I do.
And are they an accurate depiction of the scene as you witnessed it that evening?
Yes, sir.
At this time, I've moved States Exhibits 2 through 74 into evidence.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, Exhibits 2 through 74 will be admitted. Or are you going to do it?
I'm on the screen, yes. Sir.
Okay.
Smith,
Yes.
you want gloves?
Yes, they're right here.
Okay.
What about the scissors? The scissors, were they up here too?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Exhibits 2 through 74 will be admitted.
And you want to move to publish?
You may. Are you going to do it on the screen or are you going to do it?
I'm on the screen, yes. Sir.
Okay.
Smith,
Yes.
you want gloves?
Yes, they're right here.
Okay.
What about the scissors? The scissors, were they up here too?
Yeah.
Thank you.
You may.
Thank you.
Ms. Smith, States Exhibit 2 here. Is this the outside of the residence we're looking at?
Yes.
And for the record, States Exhibit 3, how many vehicles are in the driveway?
2.
And States Exhibit 5, what is your vantage point in this photograph?
I was standing on the edge of the driveway next to the white SUV, looking in the front door in the garage.
And States Exhibit 6, I apologize. Is that the front door to the residence?
Yes, sir.
And you took some interior shots of the residence, correct?
I did.
Yeah, State's Exhibit 9, where are you standing in the residence here?
I was sitting in the corner of the living room. Kitchen was going to be on my left and dining room on my right, where the clothes baskets are.
State's Exhibit 12, what door is this in the residence?
That's going to be the interior door going to the garage.
Now, is it fair to say that where there is something of interest, when taking photographs, you do sort of, I call it the 360 and taking photographs in a circle?
Yes, we'll stand in each four corner of the room and take a picture to the inside so we can incorporate the whole room.
What is the purpose when you kind of do that?
I'm sorry, what?
What is the purpose of you doing that?
If the room needs to be put back together, you can match the pictures together in a program and show a 360 image of it.
And is that something you did in this crime scene?
I did.
Now, this would be, where is that door that we just looked? Where is that door in this photograph?
I would be standing like on the frame of it.
And I'm sorry, for the record, that was State's Exhibit 13. State's Exhibit 15, where are you facing in this photograph?
Just a couple of feet before me, and then I turned to my left.
And then State's Exhibit 16 is that?
Turned more to my left.
Okay. I don't think there's anything super graphic, but his body is laying in the garage and it is covered with a white sheet, but I'm going to go ahead and play that portion. So it goes really quick. I don't think there's anything bad.
And what is your vantage point in State's Exhibit 19?
That's the interior door going into the residence from the garage where when I started taking pictures, I was standing there looking out. So this is directly across from it.
Would it be fair to say there was a good deal of clutter
Yes.
in the garage? Okay. And where were you standing in State's Exhibit 20?
I'm not sure which direction.
And when I say direction, I don't mean north-south.
Yeah.
What are we looking towards in this?
We're looking towards that stainless steel refrigerator that was right beside the interior door going to the residence.
Okay. And so the door to the residence would be to our right. Is that correct? Okay. Now, State's Exhibit 21, that refrigerator is to the left of the door, correct?
If you're looking at the door, yes.
Okay. And was there anything of note that you observed close to the refrigerator?
There was some casings on the floor.
Now, in this photograph, State's Exhibit 24, I know it's probably hard to see. Where is the shell casing located in this photograph?
Right beside the yellow bag of pot and soil, I think that is.
Okay. And that's State's Exhibit 24 for the record. And State's Exhibit 26, how many shell casings did you locate in that area?
2.
State's Exhibit 27, did you move any items?
Yes, all the items that were down there.
Okay. And are those the 2 shell casings you're looking at?
Yes.
my first witness. This says I've handed you what's being marked as State's Exhibits 119 and 121 for identification purposes. Do you recognize those items?
I do.
How do you recognize those items?
I initialed the labels and dated the tape.
And what do those two items contain?
These are the two casings from near the refrigerator, marker 5 and 6.
And that's what we're looking at, State's Exhibit 29, is that correct?
Yes.
Those shell casings that you collected, they in substantially the same condition?
Yes.
I would move to admit State's Exhibits 119 and 121 into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
119 and 121.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry. 119 and 121.
Okay. 119 and 121 will be admitted.
State's Exhibit 30, where are we standing in this photograph? What are we looking at?
That is the door from the interior going into the garage. The refrigerator would be behind me, so that would be the other corner. So if you're looking at the door to the right.
And I see a photo marker in the center there. What is that marking?
I believe that's going to be another casing. Yes.
And State's Exhibit 32, what is that for the record?
That's going to be a casing.
And my first witness.
May.
This says handed you with the marking State's Exhibit 120. For identification purposes, do you recognize that?
I do.
How do you recognize that?
My initials and the date.
And what is that item?
This is the casing for marker 7.
And is that in substantially the same condition as when it was collected?
Yes.
At this time, I'd move State's Exhibit 120 into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
State's Exhibit 120 will be admitted.
Mr. Smith, State's Exhibit 34, what is your vantage point in this photograph?
The driveway is behind me, and there's the interior door.
And here in State's Exhibit 36, is there anything of note that was depicted in this photograph?
Yes, there is a fragment on the floor right there by that wood.
And State's Exhibit 38, what are we looking at there?
That is a bullet fragment.
And my first witness.
You may.
And yours remarks in State's Exhibit 125. Do you recognize that?
I do.
How do you recognize that?
My initials and date.
And what does that item contain?
This is a projectile bullet fragment.
And is that in substantially the same condition as when it was collected?
Yes.
At this time, I'd move State's Exhibit 125 into evidence.
No objection, Your Honor.
State's Exhibit 125 will be admitted.
And State's Exhibit 39, is that a close-up of that same projectile?
Yes.
And State's Exhibit 40, there were some items close to where Colin was found. Is that correct?
Yes,
Did you observe any blood on any of those items?
I did.
And for the record, State's Exhibit 47, close to the sheet there, what is the item at the top of the photograph?
A cooler?
And what is depicted in State's Exhibit 48?
Appears to be.
So you're not really missing anything by my not showing the evidence. She had a lot of graphic photos, and I'm not going to play those on here. Just not going to do it. I don't know how to edit while I'm in StreamYard, but I'm going to go in and remove those parts because I just don't think it's necessary. But I'm gonna start right here, and right here is where she's taking pictures of this medication that the defense is so worried about. So, and I may skip over some more too. We'll see.
And is there a reason you document that, took photographs of that?
Just want to have record of what was on scene.
Okay. And states exhibits 70 through 74 are all medications you took photographs of, correct?
Yes.
You did not collect those medications, correct?
I'm sorry.
You did not collect the medications, correct?
I did collect them and weighed them.
Okay. You documented them with photographs?
Yes.
Judge, you can blank the screen. Ms. Smith, did you attend the autopsy of Colin Turner?
I did.
And when?
At this time, we approach the bench.
Sure. Ms. Smith, I believe you had said yes, you attended Colin's autopsy, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And when was that performed?
Can I refer to my report?
Would looking at your notes there help refresh your memory?
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead.
September 10th at 20. I'm sorry, September 10th, 2021.
And did you observe the autopsy being performed?
I did.
Can I approach the witness?
You may.
Ms. Smith, were photographs taken during that autopsy procedure?
Yes, sir.
Ms. Smith, I've handed you state exhibits 75 through 107 marked for identification purposes. You have previously looked through those, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And are those a fair and accurate depiction of the autopsy as you witnessed it?
Yes, sir.
At this time, I would move into evidence states exhibits 75 through 107.
Subject to my earlier objection, Your Honor.
Okay, and the objection was overruled, so exhibit 75 through 107 will be admitted into evidence.
And Ms. Smith, there at the autopsy, did you collect any physical items of evidence? If you want to go ahead and close that.
Yes, I did. I collected. Did you want me to list them?
No, it's okay. Can I approach the witness?
May.
You state exhibits 122 and 123 marked for identification purposes. Do you recognize those?
I do.
How do you recognize those?
My initials and the date.
Okay. Could you go ahead and open those two envelopes for me? Did you have both of them? Sorry.
I did.
You did. Okay. And what is contained in those two little containers there?
These were the projectiles that were in the victim.
And did you collect them at the autopsy?
I did.
Okay. At this time, I'd move into evidence states exhibits 122, 123.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Exhibits 122, 123 will be admitted.
Your Honor, may we approach briefly?
Sure.
All right, thank you, Ms. Smith. Those are my questions.
Cross-examination?
Just a few. Thank you, Judge. Good afternoon, Ms. Smith.
Good afternoon.
Gangler, didn't it?
Used to be.
Okay. If I could, the gun that was pictured in State's Exhibit 62, the one that the prosecutor showed to the members of the jury, that doesn't fit that holster you found in the closet in the bedroom. does it?
I do not know.
And you can't tell the jury who's that ammunition that was pictured in the garage. You can't tell the members of the jury who that ammo belonged to, can you?
I cannot.
Did you know that Mr. Turner, the decedent, had guns and ammunition in that home?
I did not.
Did you know he had guns in the red truck, which was outside. Did you process that, by the way?
I did not.
Okay. Did you find out that there were guns inside that truck, that red truck?
I did not.
Big deal.
The medications that you showed the members of the jury, were you aware that those were for Bree's upcoming surgery that she's about to have?
I was not.
Thank you.
That's it.
Will you direct?
No, sir.
All right. Can this witness be excused? And then we need to, I don't know, Alderman, do you want to take these exhibits?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'll grab them.
Get them to the clerk to be logged in. All right, sir, raise your right hand, please.
Do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
I do. So have a seat in the chair. Ask you to pull the chair as close to the mic as you can and speak loud up into the microphone so everybody can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Alderman, you may proceed.
Thanks, sir. Sir, please state your name for the record.
Craig Foreham.
And you're currently retired, is that correct?
That's correct.
Prior to your retirement, where were you employed?
The U.S. Navy, at the station at U.S. Navy or NAS Pensacola.
And what was your most recent assignment or duty there?
I was the senior enlisted leader or command master chief, or I guess to put it in more civilian terms, I was kind of the CO's direct advisor.
Okay. And what was your duty and function there?
I had multiple roles there, whether it be operational planning or just personnel management. So a lot of different hats of that job.
Okay. And did you oversee a good number of people?
Yes, sir.
About how many?
Somewhere it varied, but about over 200 on any given day.
And how long were you with the Navy?
My career, about 24 years.
And do you know the defendant, Miss Bree Kuhn?
I do.
Okay. How do you know Miss Kuhn?
She and I worked together. She was, when she got stationed with us, she was my assistant. So she helped me manage my day-to-day taskings and my calendar and stuff like that.
Okay. And prior to the shooting incident, how long had you known her? Do you know?
Oh, I don't remember. It would be in the months range, I would think, but I can't remember exactly when she arrived.
Okay. You said months?
I would think so. Somewhere in the 6-month range, but I can't be positive about that.
And of the time of the shooting, was she on full duty?
Yes, sir. She was active duty.
Okay. Had she been on limited duty at any point?
She was stationed with us. She was stationed as a limited duty sailor.
Okay. And what was the reason for that? Do you know?
I know she had in the past she had a suicide ideation, so she was stationed with us to receive the aftercare treatment for that.
Okay. And to your knowledge, was she receiving the treatment for that?
Yes, sir. She was in an IOP or intensive outpatient program. As far as the specifics of the program, I'm not privy to that.
Yes, sir. Now I want to talk to you about September 8th of 2021, at the day of the shooting.
Yes, sir.
Did you expect Ms. Kuhn to come to work that day?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at some point, did you notice that something was amiss?
I noticed right around lunchtime she wasn't there.
And did you have contact with her?
At that point, I texted her and to check up on her and see how everything was going. As far as and then she responded. Okay, how did she respond? I guess what your question was. I'm sorry. What was your question?
My question was when did you first have contact with her?
Okay, so that was about 11:40 in the morning, just to check on her, see how things was going, because she wasn't where I expected her to be.
Okay. And what was her response? Do you remember?
Yeah, you mind if I check my notes real quick? Is that okay? Or
would that help refresh your memory?
It would. I'm sorry. It's just been so long. Just got it right here.
You made some notes to yourself about sort of the events that day. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It's kind of my timeline of events. Oh, okay. So at that time, I just texted her she was okay, and then then I don't know exactly how, but I guess she was fine at that point. And then I just tasked her with an assignment at that time.
And shortly after that, did she mention anything in relation to Colin, her husband?
It was sometime later. I had a meeting right after that. So during the course of that meeting, we got our secretary, or the command secretary, the executive secretary. She interrupted the meeting and said that Colin's husband was trying to get a hold of the XO, Commander Godby here. So at that time, he and I dismissed ourselves, and we took the phone call in his office.
And you spoke with Colin on the phone?
Yes, sir.
You want to maybe approach this briefly?
You may.
Oh my goodness, again. Do a lot of sidebarring.
Now, Ms. Forehand, prior to this conversation here on 9/8, have you ever spoken with Colin before?
No, sir.
Okay. And what did Colin inform you was happening during this phone conversation?
At that point, when he called, he informed us that Bree's okay to do that. He said that Bree had removed their access to their financial information, as well as he put his computer through the dishwasher. He also, at that point, he also informed me that she had been missing her therapy appointments and had been skipping work over the past several days. And then he told me, or he told us, Exo and I, that he wanted to take their children back home to his parents' home in Georgia. And then he also informed us at that time that the sheriff's office at some point that morning had come to their home as well. So.
And about what time was that conversation? Do you remember?
That was about 1400 or 2 o'clock.
And during this conversation, what was Colin's demeanor?
He was very calm, very articulate and well spoken at that time.
Was he angry?
No, sir. It was just a very general, casual conversation like we're having now. It wasn't escalated or anything. Wasn't any holler screaming. Just it seemed very reasonable to me.
Now he's reporting to you that she has cut off his access to finances. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Is that? Let me ask you, how does the military deem that, or is there anything the military can do about that for a military spouse?
This is a bit of a long answer. So when we look at a couple things here, we call it spouse emotional abuse and things like that. We determine, or not we, but the Navy says when you remove financial capabilities or you start causing damage to people's equipment or stuff, it's a form of emotional abuse.
And is there anything the military can do in terms of assisting in terms of the financial aspect?
Okay, so in a situation like this, we don't have the authority to tell her what she can and can't do with her finances. But what we do have is a program. It's called the Family Advocacy Program, and it's designed to help families that are struggling. And then it's a long process how we get here, but ultimately there's a kind of again conversation about what happened, and we find the best way to help the family. And then in cases where we'll call domestic violence is involved, we'll make try to make our best determination if we need to separate the family or put them in what we call a cool down room. When I say the family, I really mean the service member. I think that's what you're asking me.
Yes, sir. And if I understood you correctly, did you say that the military would consider cutting off someone's finances to be a form of emotional abuse? Is that what I understood you to say?
That's correct. On our Family Advocacy Program.
Now, in your position there, did you often deal with family issues, domestic issues of domestic violence?
Yes, sir. One of my key roles is I was on part of that Family Advocacy Program. I was part of what we call the IDC, or Independent Termination Committee, where every single case of spousal abuse, domestic violence, those would go through a process where we would hear kind of both sides of the story and define if that case would have met criteria or not met criteria. So pretty much in my entire tenure there, that's something I was directly involved with for every single situation that involved issues like this.
Okay. And with Ms. Kuhn being, I don't know what the right terminology is, assigned to you or under you, would she be familiar with that sort of process involving the domestic violence or spousal issues? She
would definitely know I was part of IDC just because she's managing my calendar, and then also because of her position in the military, she would be familiar with the Family Advocacy Program as well.
Okay. And what was her position officially?
Her role in the Navy was E7, or Chief United States Navy, and that's kind of the starting point of where a sailor or enlisted member becomes, I would call a supervisor, where they start dealing with where they start helping managing these sailors' issues.
Now, sort of at the conclusion of this conversation, was Colin given any guidance or any further people that he could contact? You mentioned the Family Advocacy Program.
Oh, yes, sir. So at the end of this conversation, we kind of left off. I asked him, did he feel safe in the current situation? In which he responded he did. And then I also gave him the number to our family advocacy counselor as well, so he could communicate to them, and that would help, again, help them with their family struggles as well.
And when you say you asked me if you felt safe, was that a standard question you asked in these kind of situations?
Yes, sir. When typically I get a spouse calling or even any kind of event, what I call a family flare-up, I always want to make sure, safety is always the number one goal. So I always ask this question: do you feel safe?
And after this conversation ended with Colin, did you have any concerns about either his safety or Bree's safety?
No, sir. Not at all.
And after this conversation, did you have any other conversations with Colin?
No, that was the last time he and I talked.
And after that conversation, did you speak with Bree?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did she give you some indication or background as to what was going on?
Yes, sir. So after that phone call with Colin, I called Bree up, and I reiterated to her what Colin told me, which was, that she damaged his computer, he removed access to finances, and wanted to take I'm sorry. Yeah. So those two questions, and what she stated that he was lying about the situation, and then
did she say what had caused this argument to flare up?
Yes, sir. So I asked, what happened? Like, how did we get here in this situation? She said that it started the previous night before, where she wanted to watch a TV show and he did not, and that was kind of the start of this situation.
Okay, that's what she told you started the argument.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what was her demeanor during this conversation with you?
So when I talked to her, she was very calm as well. Very calm, very calm and very professional in the conversation. So that at that point, I didn't have any concerns either with the situation.
And did you pose to her the same question as you did to Colin about whether or not she felt safe in the residence?
I did. I asked her if she Okay. Yes, sir. I asked if she felt like her and the kids were safe.
Just on the record to be clear, you're looking at your notes there. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
So the question was, did you ask her about if she felt safe inside the residence?
Yes, sir. I asked her if she felt safe inside the residence. She said for her and the kids, and she said that she did.
For her and the kids, she felt
Yes,
safe?
sir.
Now, I think you had previously mentioned, I think you referred to it as a cool down location. Right?
Yes, sir.
And did you discuss that with Bree during this conversation?
Oh, yes, sir. So I asked her in this conversation, if she needed a cool down room. And what that is where we take a sailor that's, or again, a family that's having issues, and we'll take and give the service member barracks room for the course of 3 days, 10 days, depending on the situation that's needed. At that point, she didn't, she said she didn't need a cool down room. And yeah.
Did she say why she did not want the cool
Yeah, she didn't want a cool down room because she was concerned that if she went to the cool down room, which would have meant that she wouldn't have been take her kids with her, that Colin would have been able to take the kids back to Georgia at that point.
And did she mention anything about her immediate future plans?
Oh, yes, sir. When we talked on the phone, we let the conversation off that she intended to file for it tomorrow or the next day for temporary custody with a lawyer. And then I ended it as, I'm sorry.
What was there?
And then we just kind of ended it. If there was any other, if she felt unsafe or the issue escalated, that she should call the police.
And approximately what time was this conversation you had with Bree?
That was about 2:30.
And I know you already said about Colin. Did you have further contact with Bree later that day?
Yes, sir. We talked again about 4:45. We talked again about that time. I texted Bree and asked her if the situation had settled down, and to which she responded no.
Did you elaborate at that point as to what was going on?
Oh, yes, sir. At that point, so when she texted me, no, I called her back, and she said that her and one of her younger children, I don't know which one, were in the, okay, she said that her and one of her younger children in the backyard, and that Colin had taken the child from her. And she stated the child was crying, but she did not believe that Colin was going to hurt the child. And then she stated that Colin was outside with the child, and I asked her, okay, and that was that conversation was about.
And again, was there any discussions of did she feel safe? Did the children feel safe? How did she respond during this conversation?
Yes, sir. This time I asked her if her and Colin had any guns, and she said Colin had the guns in the truck, and she stated that she had a handgun. I'm sorry. She stated that he had a handgun and a rifle in the truck, and that she had a pistol. And then I reiterated at that point in the conversation that to call the police if the situation escalated, and she said she was safe and that Colin will calm down.
And was that the last discussion you had with Bree prior to the shooting?
Yes, sir. I tried to text her later, but no response at that point.
Okay. So these conversations you had with both Colin initially and then Bree Kuhn, like you've described, but at any point was either of them angry, yelling, shouting?
No, sir. It was probably one of the, these types of phone calls weren't necessarily uncommon for me to get, but what was really peculiar was that both sides were just very calm and very emotionally under control. So that's why we didn't, that's why we didn't force a cool down or anything like that. Cause it seemed like it was just, from my perspective, it was just two adults having an argument about some stuff.
And would you have initiated or started the procedures for a cool down room if you had deemed it to be necessary?
Yes, sir. If I felt like the conversation, if I felt like it was just going nowhere, or just being very aggressive, I would, at that point, I wouldn't give the sailor an option. We would mandate, or I'm sorry, I used the word I don't have that authority, but I would have recommended my commanding officer to assign what we call a no contact order to initiate it. But just based off the demeanor, I didn't determine it necessary.
Okay. So the Navy can do that against the service member's will?
Yes, sir.
Necessary?
The commanding officer can assign a no contact order or MPO.
Now, at any point during this contact, or at any point during your, you said about the 6 months that you had known Bree, had she ever related to you any type of physical abuse?
No, sir.
Had she ever related to you any type of sexual abuse?
No, sir.
Had she ever related to you any fear for her children's safety in relation to Colin?
No, sir.
Now, what would be the procedure if a service member were to report an instance of either domestic abuse or sexual abuse?
Kind of, it's two different processes.
Is that two different for the two different types?
Yeah, yes, sir. So we'll start with one. So for sexual abuse, which we call sexual assault, that goes to what we call a SAPR, Sexual Assault Prevention and Response Program. And so what would happen there once the sailor reports that, and there's a lot of different methods to which the sailor can report it, depending on if they want it to be a restricted or unrestricted report. Restricted means that that situation would be just between the sailor as well as the team, or her care team that would help her or them rather cope for the situation. And then there's an unrestricted report, which would be the same type of level of post care as well as an investigation into the situation. I'm sorry, I lost track of.
Would the person receive any kind of counseling or anything?
Yes, sir. If the sailor reports the situation or is reported, then they would.
Okay. And again, being under your command, would Ms. Kuhn been aware of this protocol, this procedure?
Cause for conjecture, Your Honor.
Overruled.
Answer.
You can answer.
Okay. So sexual assault is a huge, it's a huge deal in the military. It's very, it's got congressional level involvement in it. So we're mandated to conduct annual sexual assault prevention response training. And then this commanding officer talks about these programs. It doesn't matter what command you're in, you have to go through sexual assault training annually. So it's reasonable that she would know these processes. And even the fact that she's a chief, she would go through a whole nother process of training for that. So it's very reasonable that she would know these processes, what to do, or at least she would know where the starting line for these types of situations are.
And would it be fair to say that for members of the military, there are a large number of resources for victims of sexual abuse?
Yes, sir. There's quite a bit out there for them.
And I asked you earlier, and you had said there are two different processes. What about domestic violence? What would be the standard procedure if someone reports they're a victim of domestic violence?
Okay, so DV would be so how that would start to back to that family advocacy case we talked about, and then with that there comes the process is where the sailor reports the DV, or even not necessarily the sailor, but the spouse reports the DV or domestic violence or emotional abuse. I'm kind of lumping DV into emotional abuse, spousal abuse, all those different. It's a very big word to cover a lot of categories in it. But once that's reported, there'll be interviews conducted with both the offender and the non-offender, and then once they dictate that those events have occurred, there's a lot of different resources attached. And there's mandatory trainings required for the service member. There's mandatory trainings required for the if it's a non-service member. There's recommended trainings that we'll offer for them. Now in the event of we talk about domestic violence, but if it's something like some kind of grandiose, where where someone was just physically abused somebody to the point, with the law enforcement get involved, it's going to happen downtown, right? There's also that law enforcement side, which has nothing to do with the military. But I think I want to go on a sidetrack here a little bit. But
fair to say that victims of DV would have resources available to them?
Yes, sir. If reported or even if identified, we would take it, report that stuff and do something and provide aid.
Now, if a service member were to report some type of sexual abuse, or as you mentioned the SART, I think the sexual assault response team, could that cause any problems or issues in terms of their career or service in the Navy?
No, sir. You're not penalized for something like of this magnitude. It's not a punitive thing. It's therapeutic in nature.
Okay. Now, again, based on your conversations with both parties that day, were you surprised to learn that what had happened ultimately?
I was very surprised. I was just from the conversations that Bree and I would have, kind of when we were just kind of sitting around, just shooting the breeze a little bit. It sounded like ultimately they had a pretty good relationship, and he was very supportive of her. They had from my perspective, they had a great little system where he was going to school. She would take, I don't remember the two children. She would take the kids to daycare. He'd go to school and do the stuff. It just seemed like they were just a relatively normal military family doing good things.
Thank you, sir. Those are my questions.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Mr. Forehand. Thank you for your 24 years of service. Now, Bree originally came to you for medical reasons and for mental health reasons, didn't she?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you knew that Bree had had a suicide attempt in the past.
That's
she
correct.
Came on board, right? And you knew that she was sent to a mental health unit hospital in Crestview, Florida, right?
Yes, I believe I know that.
Okay.
Thinking
and you knew
hard.
she stayed there for 7 days, right?
No, sir.
You didn't know that?
No, sir.
Permission to approach the witness, Your Honor.
You may.
Mr. Forehand, I'm going to show you something. I want you to read lines.
Randy, what are you
Page 6.
Randy, is that the transcript of the?
Randy, what are you showing a witness? Randy.
I'm just going to ask you to read this to yourself. Okay, don't read it out loud. Yeah, but I'll read it. I'm going to ask you some questions. See if this helps your question.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Lines 20 to 22. Read that on his forehand, and if you have the opportunity to read it, I'm asking you to help refresh your recollection.
Okay. Just keep reading it. That's good from there. Okay. I'm sorry. Thank you.
Got it. I'll repeat the question to you. Ask you. You knew she stayed there for 7 days, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, your time with Bree was pleasant, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
Now, on the day of the incident, September 8th, 2021, around 1:45, Bree texted you and said Colin was trying to call the command, didn't she?
Yes, sir.
And as you alluded to earlier, domestic violence is a big deal in the military, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you were speaking to Colin, he was trying to force the Navy to give him some money, wasn't he?
I don't know what his intentions were.
Okay. Okay. Permission approach the witness, page 12, lines 19, excuse me, lines 17 through 18.
You may.
Mr. Former, read lines 17 through 18, please, to yourself, and if you had the opportunity to read those, I'm going to ask you a couple of fresh recollections. I'll ask you the question.
Okay.
Now, was Colin trying to force the Navy to give him money?
Yes, it looks like, from my best guess, that was the case.
And he wanted the money so he could leave with the kids, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you basically told him that you couldn't force her or make her give him any money, didn't you?
That's correct.
The Navy couldn't. And you learned from your conversation from Colin that he was trying to take the kids away to Georgia, right?
That's correct.
And you knew that Colin was medically retired from the Marine Corps because of traumatic brain injury, didn't you?
That's correct.
And did you know whether he quit, retired, or was discharged?
I believe he was medically retired.
Okay, that was the most stupid. You know he was retired from the Marine Corps, right? Did he quit? What? I mean, I'm sorry, but where does he come up with these questions?
Now, Bree, when she was talking to you, she told you they were arguing about Colin taking the kids to Georgia, right?
Oh, yes, sir.
Okay. And Bree, I think you've already alluded to it earlier, but Bree told you that Colin was lying, didn't she?
That's correct.
And to you, that was just so weird, wasn't it?
Which part was weird? That he was lying? I don't
Yeah,
understand.
the exchange between those two. What was going on between those two?
No, I don't think I understand your question right now.
This poor man. I don't understand your question right now. And this is sped up to 1.50.
One line this down, Ms. Foreman. Read line 16 and see if that helps refresh your recollection.
Judge, I believe the response was, I don't understand the questions. I don't know if the.
Yeah, I just don't know what you're asking me right now.
Why don't you can refresh his recollection and then re-ask the question?
Yeah, just read.
I don't know what you're asking me.
I apologize. Probably was me giving the question, but I'll try to rephrase it.
I'm sorry, Randy, what page were you on? I'm sorry.
16. 15.
Okay.
Let me try that again for you. I apologize. I asked you beforehand. She told you no, he was lying, and she was calm, cool, calm, and collected. And to you, that just seemed weird, didn't it?
The situation was weird. In fact, that both of the both parties were just very calm. That's not like what I would traditionally experience.
And the argument started the night before when Bree wanted to watch television and he didn't want to watch television, right?
That's correct.
And once again, you thought that was kind of weird, didn't you?
That they want to watch TV? No,
No, that they had the argument over that.
No, sir. I've been married. That's no.
Permission approach, page 16. Lines,
You may.
lines 18 through 20. Read lines 18 through 20 beforehand to yourself.
I'm sorry. What numbers?
Ask you whether that helps refresh your recollection.
What numbers are you saying?
That's 18.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. 18 through 20. Yourself. Have you had opportunity-
This poor guy. When you're trying to read into more than what is said.
Context of this. Sorry. I just need to go a little further up.
I think the context is further up.
Okay.
Last question. You told you started there.
Nah, they're married. They argue.
And you said it was you. Basically, you said I was like, well, that's kind of weird, right? Once again.
Yes, sir.
And Bree told you that Colin had called her and loaded up his guns in the truck, didn't she?
If you could say that one more time.
Bree told you that Colin had called her and loaded up his guns in the truck, didn't she?
That's correct.
And he was trying to put the kids in there while he had the guns in the truck, wasn't he?
Boy.
You know, I'm going to reject
That's not my notes. I just,
Hold on. Got an objection?
Yes, sir. Speculation.
Saying that's phrased.
Okay. She told you Colin loaded up his guns in the truck and he was trying to put the kids in there, didn't she?
It's not my notes, so I just don't
Permission to
remember.
approach the witness,
Sure.
page 17, lines 5 through 7.
You may.
Thank you. Lines 5 through 7 this time, Mr. Foreman. See if I help refresh your recollection.
Okay,
So that's what she told you, didn't she?
that's correct.
And in all fairness, Mr. Forehand, you said this about 2 years ago, so
Oh, that's-
it's hard to
yeah.
remember all those years.
Yeah, 3 years is a long time.
I get it. I get it. I totally get it. I can't remember what I had for breakfast this morning. So, and she had to call the police, didn't she?
That's correct,
The law enforcement didn't do anything about it, did they?
from my understanding.
Now, in your experience doing your job that you had to do for so long with 200 something people that you were looking out after, in your experiences, when spouses start calling the command, things are turning bad, aren't they?
Depending on how you define bad.
Not
uh,
good.
Well,
See, I
like,
mean,
there's
this
definitely an issue
guy.
going on, right? There's something that needs improvement in the home life. Correct. I'll agree with that.
And once again, things weren't making sense to you, were they?
As far as the demeanor, no. It just
None of it
And later,
made
when you
sense to
checked
him,
on
he
her,
said.
she told you no, she wasn't okay that day, didn't she?
she did.
And she also told you that Mr. Turner had come and snatched her child from her and took her around to the front, didn't she?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay, wait.
And the child was crying inconsolably, wasn't she?
All right. That is a bald-faced lie. How he can even say that in court is beyond me. Absolutely beyond me. She took her daughter outside to where Colin was locked and wanted him to take the baby because daddy could calm her down. So, I rest my case on that, attorney.
Correct.
Did you have a coworker with you named Celeste?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did you get Celeste involved to try to help you try to resolve the issues that were presented to you by Bree and Colin that day?
Yes.
Okay. And you found out that Mr. Turner had put a gun in the truck.
But I'm going to object to hearsay.
Sustained.
In your mind, he had 3 guns in the truck, didn't he?
I don't remember.
I'm going to object again for speculation.
Sustained.
At this point, you and your coworker decided to call the Department of Children and Family Services, didn't you?
That's correct.
And then you decided to call the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office, didn't you?
That's correct.
To find out what was going on. And also to tell them there were guns in that car, in that truck, right?
That's correct.
You remember Bree during that conversation, the day of the incident, telling you that earlier that Mr. Turner was like out in the front yard, pacing around and talking to himself.
I do.
And once again, you had this weird, to you, that was weird behavior, wasn't it?
It was.
Now, around 5 o'clock, I believe was the last time you spoke to her, right?
Yes, sir. Right around
Okay.
there.
And she was teary and sad to you, wasn't she?
That was my perception, yes, sir.
Did you know that he was abusive to her?
No idea. Or, I'm sorry, no.
I would object to that question. That's very.
I'm going to sustain. That's argumentative.
Now, Bree had all kind of trophies for being such an excellent recruiter for the Navy, didn't she?
Yes, sir. Back on her little bookshelf, she had quite a bit of recognition awards for what seemed to be a relatively good career in recruiting.
It seemed to be an outstanding sailor, didn't she?
Yes, sir. She and I always had very pleasant conversations. I enjoyed working with her.
Would Bree sometimes work from 7 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock in the next morning?
During my 10 of us together, no, sir.
Well, she was the only breadwinner in the family, wasn't she, as far as you knew?
I'm not sure their finances. I don't know.
Okay. He was medically discharged. He was, I believe, a gunnery sergeant. Y'all can look it up. I'm not going to look it up. But he got 100% disability. So he also had money coming in. Now, why he had access to none of it is because she cut it off from him. doesn't mean he doesn't bring any in. So stop misrepresenting the situation, please. That's a lie. He had money coming in.
Is it fair to say it was hard to know exactly what was going on between Bree and Mr. Turner?
Absolutely.
Well, yeah.
Permission to approach the witness, page 38.
He just said yes.
Lines 10 through 11. Or no.
Okay.
Sorry, Judge. Lines 10 through 12. Read those if you would to yourself, Mr. Forehand, and I'll ask you where that helps refresh your recollection.
Okay.
And I'll ask you one more time. She worked from 7 o'clock in the morning to 1 o'clock in the morning sometimes.
Okay. So that question's, what you're asking me is from her previous military history, not in my command.
I apologize.
Yes, sir.
Once again, my fault, not yours.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's my poor question. But you knew she
Yes,
could
sir.
do that.
Yeah, she had a conversation. She talked about working those really long days as being a recruiter.
And I apologize. That was my fault, not yours. Okay. Now, is there any doubt that Bree was concerned about leaving her children with Colin?
You know, I'm going to object to speculation.
Sustained as phrased.
Okay. You spoke to Bree that day. You spoke to Colin that day, didn't you, Mr. Forehand?
That's correct.
Okay. Any doubt in your mind from talking to her and talking to Colin, she was worried about him leaving with those kids to go to Georgia, wasn't she?
Yes.
Now, would you agree with me that you don't have to be angry or shouting to be in an emotionally charged situation between spouses, girlfriends, boyfriends, husbands, wives?
I would agree.
In your 24 years of service doing what you've done serving our country, would you agree with me it's not unusual for sailors not to come up to you and tell you about some of their dark secrets or things that's going on between themselves at home?
You know, I'm going to object to relevance at this point.
That's all he's been talking about is all these things. I'm not just saying that.
Hold on. Overruled.
Is it unusual for sailors under your command to not confide in you or relate to you deeply personal matters?
You know, I'm going to object to speculation and go approach we can.
I'm going to overrule the objection.
And
Holy cow. Holy cow. It's also something to reflect on that when you have a command like that and your spouse is trying to reach out to them, that you're going to get in touch with them first and you're going to give them your side of it, which the military member's side of it is not the only side there is, right? And this poor schmuck here, I feel so sorry for him.
What I was trying to get to, Mr. Forehand.
Oh my God.
Is every sailor on your command, they don't necessarily confide in you, do they?
Okay. So they don't confide in me.
I'm going to object because
That's the question.
Yeah, he's so confused. He's so confused. I mean, come on. You just want to point out that not everybody is going to say everything going on in their life to someone in their command. True. Come on, Red Skeleton.
Thank you.
Any redirect?
Oh, thank heavens.
Yes, sir. You responded to Mr. Etheridge that Colin was pacing outside and talking to himself.
That's correct.
How did you know that?
Bree told me.
Of course.
And he asked you a question about when you texted her and asked if everything was okay, and she responded no. And to the best of your recollection, do you remember what your question was? Did you ask her if everything was okay, or did you ask her if everything had settled down? Or did you ask her if she was okay, or has everything settled down?
Yeah, I asked, had everything settled down.
So she didn't say, I'm not okay.
That's correct.
Poor guy.
Now, was she relating to you that she called law enforcement because of these guns?
No, I have no knowledge of why. I just know she called.
And if Colin is leaving to go to Georgia, as I think both parties told you, correct?
Well, I know Colin wanted to leave. I know Colin and Bree didn't want him to leave.
And if he's leaving to Georgia to take any personal items with him, you probably have to put them in his truck. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And despite this talk of guns and police, at every point you asked both parties if they felt safe, if we felt safe, Colin felt safe, and the kids were safe.
That's correct.
And at every time, both parties said, yes, we're all safe, correct?
That's correct.
Thanks, sir.
Okay, the bottom line here, the major thing to remember.
All right. Anything else from this witness?
I have no objection to him being excused, Your Honor.
Yes, sir. I think at this point he can be released. I originally was going to recall him, but I think we probably covered everything. So.
Okay. All right, sir. You may sit down. You're now excused.
Okay, the bottom line is
Y'all approach?
Bree did
Yes,
not
sir.
want him leaving with her children,
I have
their children.
one more that I anticipate would be very quick.
I agree, Your Honor.
Does anybody need to get somewhere by like 5:30 or anything like that? Is everybody good?
This will be quick, Judge.
Okay. Everybody's good. All right. Then we'll go ahead and call the last witness for the day.
That's what the prosecutor told me. It should be quick.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Yeah, we can go ahead and call the last witness for the day.
Detective Mitchell Kelly.
It's just absolutely amazing to me that they're up there trying to make this into, she was worried about the children's safety because Colin had guns in his vehicle. She never said that. And even if she had, he's going to be responsible for how he's putting those guns in his vehicle if he's going to have children in the vehicle. And being he was a Marine, he knew how to do that, right?
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give?
I mean, give me a break. Just give me a break.
Have a seat in the chair. Please speak in the microphone loud enough so that everybody can hear you.
Prosecutor told me. It should be quick.
I'm sorry, Judge.
Yeah, we can go ahead and call the last witness for the day.
Detective Mitchell Kelly.
Sir, raise your right hand.
Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir. Have a seat in the chair. Please speak in the microphone loud enough so that everybody can hear you.
You have Simpson?
Yes, sir.
Patience. Can you please state your name for the record?
Mitchell Kelly,
And where are you employed?
the Santa Rosa County Sheriff's Office.
How long have you been there?
I've been with Santa Rosa for about 8 years.
Okay. Do you have previous law enforcement experience?
Yes, sir. I spent 12 to 13 years in Colorado as a police officer as well.
Okay. And what are your present duties with the sheriff's office?
Right now, I'm a patrol sergeant for the patrol division, but at the time of this investigation, I was a detective in the major crimes unit.
Okay. And were you involved in the investigation in the case in the death of Colin Turner?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And who was the lead detective or investigator in that case?
Detective David Rowell.
Okay. Now, at some point during that day, the day of the murder, September 8th, 2021, did detectives have cause to speak with Ms. Kuhn?
Yes.
Okay. Where did that take place?
At the major crimes office in our interview room.
Okay. And are those interviews recorded?
Yes, they are.
And your interview there with Ms. Bree Kuhn, was Detective Rowell involved in it also?
Yes, he was.
And was the entirety of that interview recorded?
It was.
Was there any questioning of Ms. Kuhn that took place outside that room or outside of that or outside of that recording?
No.
Shortly thereafter, you had occasion to travel to interview a witness. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Who did you go interview?
Myself and David and Detective Rowell went to Pennsylvania to interview the defendant's brother.
And do you remember when that was in relation to the murder?
It was just a couple days after.
And did you speak with her brother, you and Detective Rowell?
Yes.
And was that interaction recorded?
Yes, audio and video.
Thank you, sir. Those are my questions.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Judge. Just a couple of real brief ones. Mr. Kelly, you're no longer a detective anymore.
That's correct.
You're a regular patrol deputy now, right?
I was promoted to sergeant, so I was reassigned.
You never went to the scene, did you?
So this attorney was trying to go with, oh, you've been demoted recently, right? No, sir. Been promoted. Okay, so
You assisted with a search warrant for the residence,
That's correct.
and you conducted an interview of the gentleman just left you, Mr. Forehand, Bree's command, right?
Yes, I did an interview with him.
And the last thing you did is you accompanied your fellow officer Rowell to interview Bree's brother, Eric Kuhn Jr. in Pennsylvania, right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Those are my questions.
Any redirect?
No, sir.
Okay. Can this witness be excused?
Uh,
Or do you want him to remain on standby?
I'd say remain on standby just in case, and I'll notify if anything comes up.
All right. You're now excused for today, but please remain on standby. Okay.
Wow, that was fast. I guess he just had to go in there to say that he did interview Eric Kuhn, who we will see on the stand.